Is Twerk still muted? Good job.
Twerk is probably still
Twerk was muted.
Twerk's always muted.
He sounded so angry. He was like, "Hello and welcome to another episode of Redacted."
I was trying to be like, what's his name? From the news. I don't know. I forget his name.
I mean, I'm glad we had this conversation because I know so much now.
It is important to me to do that. Anyways, what have you been up to this week, Twerk?
Just working a ton. Wow. Yeah. It's been a lot of work. Played a little bit of Star Citizen.
Yep.
But a lot of Battlefront. Like all day yesterday, totally didn't do anything I was supposed to do around the house, and pretty much did everything I needed to do for the podcast today, and then played as much. What is it called? Fighter Squadron? Yeah, Fighter Squadron. As much as I could. It was really good.
Yeah,
so good.
I'm looking forward to it. I actually just installed it this morning.
Yeah, like me and Proxys, like I know you heard us on Skype. Like, have you ever heard me having that much fun before? I don't know. It's been quite some time.
Well, I was watching you this morning. There's some game modes that get you a little salty, but
well, every one but this one, basically.
Well, no, it's still occasionally when you die, you still get salty.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, because fucking
there it is.
There it is.
There it is. Like, that's the Twerk I know and
there's
love.
There's definitely some balance that needs to happen to the game. Like A-wings, for whatever reason, are very difficult to target. But
anyone else that kills you as well, they also need to get balanced.
They also need to be balanced.
They're like the M50s of this game, basically.
I mean, after hearing that you keep winning all of your matches, I think I'm gonna go MLG Pro, if it's gonna be that easy. So I'm gonna go MLG Pro in Battlefront, and that's,
here's the thing:
my new career
I'm
path.
the first full-time professional Fighter Squadron streamer. So
are you sponsored by MLG yet?
Yes. By the way. I mean, I have an emote. Please.
Oh.
Please. I've been sponsored by MLG.
I like there is salt in that chat in the game from the other players.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's quite amusing.
Like, who has the time to type it? What's so and then at the end, the best part was at the end, like everyone's typing GG noobs, and from our team, and Proxys and I are like totally crushed everybody in as far as like score and everything, and everyone's like, man, they're all like, GG, we wrecked you, and it's like, you didn't do anything. What are you talking about?
Funny.
But yeah, it's really fun. So that's what I've been up to, and that's probably what I'm going to be up to like a lot for the next week. Or unless 2.0 comes out, then obviously.
Right.
I will stop.
That's what's going to happen.
It will be hard to stop for 2.0.
This is what's going to happen. I'll find another game that I actually enjoy playing, right? And then 2.0 will come out. That's the requirement.
I feel like that's what's happening to me right now. Is like I found something that I really enjoy and I have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And then
Exactly. Well, there's half the fun you're having, Twerk, is because you're surrounded by literally loads of noobs. Everyone is learning that game. So you're getting put into the game with loads of other new people.
Don't put me down.
Well,
and you're not putting you down, but you're able to just to superhuman them. You're like, well, I can fire a gun. You're learning how to use a gun. Yeah. I win.
Wait a second. We all just started playing this mode. We're all noobs just because I figured it out first.
Maybe they're all from consoles or something.
Literally everyone is a noob because they are all new at the game. Everyone is.
But not me.
I'm MLG.
You're just king of the noobs, Twerk. Well
I'm
done.
MLG. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. Stop talking to me. Not listening.
Board gamer, what have you been up to, man?
So other than poking Twerk, in which we will be playing lots of Battlefront as well, because I've got Battlefront as well. Everyone does.
Everyone does.
Really fun. Battlefront.
I want to do something with Oliver Redacted, actually. Or Oliver Redacted who has Battlefront. Because I know there's quite a few of us.
It's hard to get into games, unfortunately, but we can try. Yeah.
They'll get their servers up and running. They'll get more, and I'm sure it will sort itself out.
Yeah.
Or it's EA, and they'll end up fucking us in the ass. But
well, it works, but it puts you in games that other people can join. So it's hard to get everybody. Like if we had 8 of us, it's hard to get 8 of us in.
Yeah.
But we can try. There's no harm in not trying, right?
We'll give it a go. But I've been writing articles and getting back into writing like compressed notes for stuff.
Yes.
So I want something for people to be able to that literally don't even have enough time to watch a video, or don't have the bandwidth to watch a video. I want to make notes for like reverse the verse, round the verse, 10 for the chairman.
Yeah.
Really compressed.
Yeah, I have your 10 for the chairman notes up here. And a lot of people seem to really like it.
Yeah,
so much
that
so
was really awesome.
that it has something like almost 3,000 views.
Oh, in like a day. That's pretty awesome.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, here's a better thing. The anniversary sale and live stream, What We Know post has almost 5,000 views.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I'm glad people really enjoy them. That's awesome. Thank you.
Thank you for doing that.
Yeah.
No, it's for part of my
community.
video process. Part of my video process is literally noting that down normally in my head.
Yeah.
So if I just write it out, then I mean I've got it down in my head. I've got notes to refer to, and it's up for people.
Yeah.
But I'll make sure that when I do them, there'll be everything that I feel is relevant. So occasionally I'm going to miss something, and apologies for that. But I'll try and make it that I get anything that's not just fluff or umming and ahhing or someone talking about what they did on the weekend, because you know, everyone that watches this podcast, they don't give a damn what we've been doing. It's they're like, next part.
Yeah. What's MLG at a game? No.
I want to hijack that as well
in.
to let people know that we're giving away a Merlin / an Archimedes, depending on if the Archimedes is released during the anniversary stream tomorrow. On the forums.
I think it will be.
So if you're in my channel right now, type !Merlin in chat, and that'll give you the link to the post or to the thread. All you have to do is post on the thread what your favorite ship is and why, and you'll enter in. We'll draw it tomorrow. You don't have to be here tomorrow to win. I'll post the winner in the thread. You'll have 48 hours to claim your prize. So nice and easy.
Yay.
Also, Battlescape Infinity has been funded on Kickstarter.
Yep.
And I know that some of us have been playing the pre-release build and have been promoting on Twitter. And I hope that game is going to be relatively good, because it looks quite fun. It's a lot more arcadey and 3 factions. It's a lot more focused than Star Citizen is. And I hope it's going to be quite a good little game.
It looks great. I mean, it looks beautiful.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I mean, I'm not a massive fan of the ships, but you know.
Well, we're spoiled, right?
Yeah,
I think we've really been spoiled, because that's what Star Citizen does like insanely well. So.
But other than that, I mean, I've been playing a little bit of Battlefront and just chilling out. I went away for the weekend and played lots of Until Dawn and stuff like that, and I was relatively disappointed with that, because it was just like, oh, it's probably this, and it was that. Damn, bloody obvious game.
I heard it was a fun game.
I mean, it's all right. It was just, I expected something else. I think.
Okay.
Just totally. I become a horse.
Fair
What about you? What about you, Soros?
Me?
What are you up to?
Well,
me?
I played some Fallout 4, and I made a guy who looks a lot like me, which you'll be able to see on the podcast here in a second. It was an interesting experience for me, because a lot of people were raving about it. I'd never really played a Fallout game before, seriously. And doing so the first time on stream was interesting. I found there was like a lot of redundancies and things like that. That was a little interesting, but I mean, I can see why people enjoy it though, definitely. But I lasted about 2 streams with it, and then I was like, all right, I'm sort of done with this. But I mean, it was.
Oh wow, he does look like you when you look forward.
Yeah.
He's a little darker than you.
He's a little darker, yeah.
Yeah.
But
he looks
I had to
a
give
lot
myself
like
that
you.
pseudo tan. Yeah, he even has like, I have this thing, I don't know what side it's on my face. I think it's
on your right side.
yeah, right here on my it's my left side, I think. So yeah, kind of neat. It even matches that. I couldn't move it. I wanted to move it up to exactly where it was, but it wouldn't let me do that. But it was pretty neat. Other than that, we've been doing a lot of Star Citizen stuff lately, believe it or not, even though there hasn't been a lot of stuff to do. But what is really cool is, thanks to Greenleaf and Kuros, we found some more things, more walls to break through and fences to break through and stuff like that. So
Oh, really?
there's
Cool.
so many more, like all those blocked off sections that have fences, we can get through them. So I'm trying to do it here. I'm going to fast forward a little bit, and you can see I'm just sort of in these areas that we shouldn't be in yet. And it's just really cool. Like we were up on like up on the top bar and stuff, which was really cool. And just showing, and we were just rolling around with a posse for a while doing that stuff. And I was also doing a bunch of 350. So here's the top bar here. We're also doing a bunch of 350R racing. I'm starting to get a little better with that. Breaking 101s, which is good. I think I've made it now back into the top 25, where before I was in like 50 or something. So that's been good. But I'm still working on that. It's kind of weird because you get the way that the 350R works is there's no like the bottom thrusters, like when you go to pitch down, make your ship go all wonky. Like they make it want to turtle and
is that a technical racing term?
Yes, all wonky. So what happens is you end up using your yaw thrusters and pitch up, and that's all you can do. So you start to get used to that, and then you go to fly one of the other ships where you can fly it normally, and the lines are different and stuff. It's pretty interesting to see how the ships fly and handle differently, and in general is just pretty cool. Outside of that, just been working on redacted stuff. As always, right? I think that's going to be something that we're going to be doing a lot of.
The website's looking good though. It's getting in there, isn't it?
Yeah, the website is getting there. I mean, we can probably show this a little bit. So we have it pulling some of the comlink stuff,
which is cool, yeah,
and everything as well. Yeah. So there's gonna be placeholders and some of the images and stuff like that. If we go up to like the news, we have an events section as well. But the news section is what I really like. So you can see here.
That's what I really want to be a part of.
Here's the work in progress with Endeavor. Here's mining rocks, right? So we can go in here and we can look at this and read more. The site isn't optimized or anything yet, so it is still a little bit slow. But it all pulls it all up and puts all the titles properly and everything.
Come on.
Yeah.
It's not supposed to be optimized.
Shots fired. It shows who which streamers are live and what YouTubers we have on our team and our Twitter feed and all kinds of cool stuff. So there's been that. There's been the events page, which is a whole integrated. Oh, look at this! It talks about the podcast we have today. Whole integrated calendar of events. So all kinds of cool stuff. So we'll see that tomorrow we have the Redacted podcast live stream. Yeah, so all kinds of really cool stuff. Been working on it a lot. It's been a fun adventure. Also been having to deal with our hosting company more than I'd like to the last couple days. But it is what it is.
Yeah.
Moving on. I want to do our MVP for this month.
Is it me? Am I the MVP?
No, but you do post a lot, and the kind of content you post is really good. It would be worthy of MVP if you weren't a content creator.
We were like, oh, this is a good post. Oh, fuck, it was Board Gamer.
Yeah, it was Board Gamer, so it's not him. So this week's MVP on Redacted.tv is Zeus Anoxia for his informative news posts and helping out the community, letting people know about the Crucible being $350 ship and some other news and posts that he's been making. So it's not just the one ship or the one post, it's been the multiple posts. And that's the kind of content we like to see on there. So congratulations to Zeus and Oxia. You will be entered into the raffle for the end of this month. So congratulations. And yeah, so let's move on to 10 for the chairman. Turk, do you want to...
Yeah, I'll take the reins for that. Just I decided I want to have it on this monitor instead.
Mm-hmm.
So on the 10 for the chairman, I just took a few of the things he talked about, not every question, because some of those rehashed ones for the newer guys coming in, right?
Yeah.
The first thing that he talked about that was pretty interesting was the Merlin and the Archimedes. One thing that I kind of thought was weird was they haven't decided if we can upgrade from the Merlin to the Archimedes yet.
Right. You would think that would be a given.
You would think it would just be a given, yeah. So I'm just kind of like, what? But one of the important things is they're both designed very similarly. So in the Connie dock, they can both fit in it. So you don't have to get a different dock for the P-72. Same dock for both ships, which is awesome. And that docking won't be in 2.0. I thought it might be because like Elwyn was, we've been saying it for a couple of weeks that Elwyn's been working on that animation. I thought, maybe we'll get it. But no, they're saying hopefully 2.1.
Okay.
And then moving on to escape pods. That's another thing that will not be in 2.0.
Before you move on to that, there is a possibility that we will see the Archimedes come up for sale.
Yes,
during
and
the
I've kind of
stream.
been mentioning this.
Yeah.
Like, if you guys haven't noticed, a couple weeks ago, there was some, like, Archimedes gate stuff. Like, oh my god, it's a racer. This is bullshit. And oh my god, it can fly on its own, and like all these things that everyone was like freaking out about. And the reason that people were freaking out about it is because concept art was finished by what's his face?
Was it Gurmak?
Gurmak. There you go. So concept art was finished by Gurmak, and
that's all we need.
People saw it.
Thing.
So that's really all you need to sell a ship is the concept art. So literally all we're waiting for is somebody to write a post up, which is probably going up tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, it's very likely that the P-72 is ready either now or very extremely soon. But as with a lot of things, it's all speculation on our part.
Yeah, we're speculating. But it just seems like one of those ones that, like, they're saying end some ships you haven't seen before. My best guess would be that would be one of them, right? But they're pretty good at surprising us with some very, very surprising things.
Yeah, and we'll talk about that when we talk about the anniversary thing. And the other thing, while we're talking about the Archimedes, is if they do sell it, what do you see it being at for a price point?
Oh wow,
I have an idea in my head. Yeah, I was going to say
$30.
30. I think we're all going to say 30.
It can't be 20.
Yeah,
could be 25 though.
Could be
25
or 30. But I don't think it can go above that. I don't think it can reach like
40,
Aurora status, right?
No,
I really don't think it can reach that.
I think I agree with you guys. I think I'm going to say $30 as well. $29.99. One day only.
It'll be a single ship though, so it won't come with like a package or anything. No. So $30 for a ship,
and is reliant on a mothership.
Yeah, so it just kind of. Yeah. So I think so.
Unless they
not if you want to use it for its intended purpose, which is racing. You can just you can just get that racer and load straight into those racing tracks.
It's not a dedicated racer, but it might be fun to race.
Yeah,
it might be fun to race, like an Aurora is,
or a Cutlass.
Yeah.
Oh, let's leave the Cutlass talk for the Cutlass time, because we'll get into that, I'm sure. Cutlass Gate Round 2. Fight!
Ding ding.
Ding 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 ding.
So back to escape pods.
Back to escape pods, yeah. So they will not be in 2.0. So going back to that video that we saw, I believe it was last week, right? Where it was just a concept video, I guess, of what could possibly happen was an escape pod coming out of the Retaliator and an Avenger picking it up in a place where we didn't think it could pick it up and like all this. It was a pretty cool, really cool video, but again, it was very like work in progress.
And also that video is really old. Believe it or not.
Apparently it was really
old.
That
video was part of, I think, the South by Southwest trailer. It was something like that. Just part of it. Just the part where
like a quick little part that we may not have remembered, right?
Yeah, it was like inconsequential. It was where the pod left the ship. It wasn't the Avenger picking it up. But so that's a little fun fact with that.
So one of the things that this kind of spawned, I guess, was that video was like, so how do we know, like, this is something I've always thought about, and I'm sure you guys have thought about it too. When we're playing Arena Commander, I mean, you kind of know you're going to die, but you don't have that much time to get out of your seat, which, I mean, if you've gone in your seat in a multi-crew ship, it's like, click the button, and then this, like, slow animation to get out of your seat, then go to an escape pod and get out. Like, how are you going to have all this time? And they kind of explain that larger ships will give you a few moments.
And they'll let you know.
Yeah, that I think you're going to have some time to handle this.
One of the other things is that it will probably eject you from the console once you can't do anything else on the ship.
That would be a good idea.
One of the
it's
things,
like, get out.
Goes, you can't the ship is no longer fireable; it's in its death throes.
Time
It's
for you to
starts
get
spinning
out.
of control, and it
Yeah.
pushes you out of the seat so that you don't have to do the slow animation.
Yeah,
Right.
I would hope so. And then it'll give you some time to get to EVA. One of the options of getting out is EVA, which I think is pretty cool, and escape. So if there's like a hole in the side of the ship, you can just.
They also need to tweak some of the self-destruct stuff, as we know as well.
Yeah.
Has anyone tried to escape an Aurora after they've put in self-destruct? Because it takes you at least 14 seconds to leave the craft.
Yeah, you can't.
So,
And that's without
that's a
having to
design
run
feature.
around, and yeah, that's a feature. It's
Yeah.
and
Well,
that's without having to
no
run
one's
around
complained.
and
No
do stuff.
pilots have complained about the fault on that feature because they're all dead.
Yeah,
Because they can't.
die before that
Yeah.
happens.
So then, this was probably, for me, the most exciting little piece of information that he dropped, the most interesting, was planetary landings. So obviously next year we'll see them. We're not going to see them this year,
is what
which
I think
sad.
everybody was excited about hearing.
Yeah, definitely. I think, sad that we're not going to see it this year, but we didn't think we were going to see it this year, right? And then Chris said he's very excited about some tech that will give us a bit more freedom than he thought during planetary landing. So for me, everyone was like, so are you going to be able to do that on your own whenever I showed them planetary landing?
Yeah.
Like that one video? And I was like, no, it's going to be automated. And everyone's like, damn, man, that sucks. And he's saying there's going to be a lot more freedom. And he was like, really
And he
really
said-
like
he
had
happy
giggle
about
hype.
it.
Seamless as well.
It was
I think he
giggle.
said
It was giggle hype, man.
more freeform and it will still be seamless, which is pretty cool. I mean,
Yeah. Like the tech that these guys are figuring out is pretty awesome.
some of the flourish and some of the flare, I'm not sure the longevity of that particular thing has. So flying down to planets, if you can automate that, I think after the first month you've been playing the game, you'll just go, "Bah,
Yeah.
I know how to fly down to a planet. Just do it automatically. Come on." Call me a cynic,
Yeah.
but I don't know.
And most-
If it's a little bit more in depth than that, then maybe. If it's different on every planet, then yeah, that's amazing.
If they figured out the procedural generation for the planets already, that'd be sweet too.
Yeah.
Right? Which would mean you'd be able to just fly down in. Now, was there anything else that sort of stood out from 10 for the Chairman?
For me, personal armor. So they were talking about.
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't even
different
mention this one because that
locations.
didn't excite me as much.
Oh no, so at the moment we've got light, medium, and heavy armor, but we're
That's
going to
right.
be able to every location on our body, possibly multiple locations on
Mix
the
and
same
match,
part.
right?
So you might have to, you can mix and match that heavy, light, and whatever else armor. And obviously the game's physics based, so if
Yeah.
you've got shin pads on, hitting the shin, you will take less damage, or the bullet might ricochet or whatever.
Well-
and that's all based on what armor.
Okay,
you've got
now
there
I'm
and
excited about it.
Okay, but the only thing that I like the idea. Obviously, I like any customization that you can do is great. However, they're giving us negative things for like the helmet, right? The heavy helmet as opposed to the light helmet and things like that, right? Your field of view is narrower. So what happens if you're able to wear a full heavy suit but then wear the medium helmet instead?
You will be able to,
Right.
And your head will be much more vulnerable because of that.
Right. Yeah, I guess so.
What I'd like to do, I'm hoping that's even more customizable than that, and I'm hoping that you can have different asymmetrical builds, so that I could have my right side of my body really heavy. Because if you notice in
right side of my
first-person
body's
shooters-
Because you want to walk
robots.
like an ogre.
no, but I want to look a little bit like a gladiator because I think it will look cool. But also, you'll notice in first-person shooters, you'll tend to get hit more on one side because of your playstyle. And if you then start playing to that, where you've just got a lot more armor on one side, I think that's quite cool. Not totally.
What if you just let that stuff get blown off and replace it with robotics instead?
Just half your body remaining. Just go like, well, at least I'm less.
Well, yeah, we're going to be able
Just
to do
lose one
that.
of your arms.
Yeah, it might happen.
I'll have a wheel.
No, it's
instead.
definitely going to happen.
Both my legs have gone. I'll just have a
They
wheel,
said
mate.
they're doing
Done.
Well, no,
Yeah.
I mean, it might happen like that side of you will get.
You could be like...
You might be a whole side.
Dude, you'd be able to transform into like BB-8 from Star Wars. You know that little ball that rolls around? So you're just like a head that floats around on this ball. Just roll around and you could be used as the rest of your team for a little recon camera.
Please take note, CIG. Take note of these great ideas.
These are the kind of things that we want. And if I don't get it, I'm going to complain on the forums.
Was there anything else? I had concern thread. No one make the weird robot ball man.
Yeah.
Um,
No,
anything else that we saw that was interesting?
Just like some small things. So G-forces in multi-crew ships, like when you're walking around, if somebody does like a pretty fast turn, are you gonna fly against the wall and stuff like that? He said not in 2.0, but he said it shouldn't be hard to add this in the future.
Mm-hmm.
That would be pretty interesting. I would love to have like a bunch of people in the ship and just be like,
You
and
want
then
to do the
knock them all
washing
over.
machine, don't you? You want to do
Yeah.
the washing machine where you just spin as fast as you can, and whoever's left in your ship the longest wins.
Yeah, it would be fun. And then starting planets. So they're saying that it's too early for us to be able to tell us which ones we can pick from, but we know that there will be restrictions, and they have factored in that some people want to be pirates. So certain areas
well, it's
obviously
nice of them
will
to
be.
consider it.
outside of you.
Yeah,
Well, yeah.
Some
Some
people
ships
play stealth.
want.
as pirates.
Some people have got all their lore for their characters already sorted out and aren't necessarily pirates, but they want to start outside UEE controlled space or on the
Yep.
edges of it.
Yep.
I think that's reasonable. I think that's good of them.
Yeah,
How kind of them.
how
How
nice.
kind
Of them.
of them.
After all that Cutlass stuff.
Yeah.
So
Don't hang yourself. Don't hang yourself to work about the Cutlass.
I actually, I mean, we'll get to it. I don't have much of an opinion. But then there was a little around the verse, which was pretty fun. So, you want me to go into it? We've kind of picked little things out of each one, so I'll start if you want.
Yep.
Star Citizen 2.0 is 100% content locked. 100% done.
Wasn't
Can't add anything else.
wasn't it content locked 2 weeks ago?
Probably.
Yeah. Well,
Didn't
a
they
week-
say
at
that?
least a week ago.
At least a week before that?
Yeah, but
I'm
they
pretty
keep
sure they
saying
said
it,
that.
and it's just bug fixing and getting it playable for us.
Yeah.
So,
Maybe they're just
Good.
driving it home, just making sure we know.
yeah, I think
About
they're pretty
everything.
much just
But when it's coming out.
they're pretty much just waiting for tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I don't know. That's just my
It's
opinion.
literally. It's really important that people understand that it's an iterative process.
Yes. Yeah.
But also,
Like we are joking around when
That's
we're
so
I
much.
mean we are on edge. We are waiting for it just like everybody
Yeah.
else. But you do have to understand that these are things that happen, right? Like I know Xylo's been in my channel quite a few times. He's probably even lurking right now because he's always around. And it's they find something, then they need to fix something else, or there's some other bug that comes up in the live build that wasn't in their I believe it's a profile build, right? So it was like them just iterating and doing that and doing that. The only
Profile of
complaint
release, I think.
I have one complaint, and that only complaint is that we used to get go or no go information, and even if it was at the end of the day, it would be nice if we got that. But we don't seem to get that anymore. And one of the big things for me about the development of Star Citizen is that we feel like we're at least a part of it. You know, yeah, we don't get to make big decisions or anything like that, but we get to see sort of behind the curtain. And it's starting to feel more and more like that curtain is getting closed
Yeah.
more and more. Like we're not seeing a lot of stuff that whatever, and people could use the argument, oh, I don't want to get spoiled. Well, then my thing would be, oh, well, then don't watch, right?
I want to get spoiled.
I also want to get spoiled. I want to see the process of things. I want to see the concept art that doesn't make it through. I want to see the stuff on that. I want to see all of those things, and that was one of the big driving forces for me initially backing this game.
I do understand with the builds that they're literally every day they're going, let's have a look at a release build.
Yeah.
They give it to the QA team. If the QA team go, yes, it's ready, it will go. But normally they go, no, this bug needs to be fixed. The bug smashers will do it. And then the next day the process starts all over again. I understand that. But I would very much like to be disappointed by CIG. As in, I want them to say to me, not this week. At the beginning of the week.
Yep.
And then if they can get it ready, probably not this week. It's almost certainly no. No, it's not this week. Great. If they get it ready by Friday,
And then they
go,
get it,
guys.
They get it, even if they,
I would
get it
rather
ready
be
whenever.
surprised than be strung along.
Then strung along and hyped up, and any minute now, any soon, guys. It's whenever, you know. It's like it's coming, it's imminent, it's super soon.
And I think they just don't want to disappoint people, but they don't disappoint people in the short term, literally day by day. That's a bad thing. It needs to be a bit more brutally, no, it's not this week, guys. Or no, not this month. Just if you're gonna give vague time frames, at least at least give us some sort of
and be like, you know what, we smashed through it earlier than we thought. Here you go, guys. And then everybody can get hyped.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
No, and
That would be
nobody
really
would
cool.
like, and that really goes down to what Source was saying. We used to get the go no go thing, and all it takes, it doesn't take anything, it doesn't take any energy. Someone just popped it, and they didn't make a post, they didn't do anything. Someone popped into the Star Citizen chat and said, "We had the go and no go meeting. It was not a go."
That's it. You don't even need to tell us what the bugs are.
And then everybody went home for the night.
Yeah.
At CIG.
And everybody knew not to stay up. I knew not to watch,
tomorrow.
CIG chat until 10 o'clock at night, like I've been doing every day, right? And seeing what's going on and being like, oh my God, getting excited that CIG employees are joining the chat for them to just look in there.
I think they understand how. I think they do understand how much we need this and how much we want this. But they need to.
Oh, and don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
I believe
they do.
they want it out just as much as we want it out, right? Like they want to show that stuff off to us. They want to be like, I know Xylo said to me multiple times. It's great that we're testing it, but it's gonna be way more fun when we're testing it with you guys and playing with you guys. And I know that's gonna be the case, but I feel like there has been. And this is in general. This isn't even just about 2.0. I think there's been a very... It's not a lack of communication. It's a mishandling of how they're communicating things, I think. That's kind of my opinion on things. And it's not just about this. It's with the community itself and how you're relaying information to the community and things like that. That's my personal opinion, and I'll just sort of leave it at that.
That's really hard to get balanced though, because everyone is different, and there's large chunks of the community that want totally different things from the other parts of the community. And I don't think they're doing anything badly at all, but for me personally, I want more sweeping timeframes. Not this week, at the beginning of the week. Great, I can plan my content around that. I don't have to continuously refresh the page for hours upon end, going, is it out? Is it out? Is it out?
Yeah.
I think it would make everyone a lot more chilled and calm. And
so, I mean, I just do something different. I just don't look. Like, that's what I'm doing. Like, honestly, that's what I have to do right now. Because like you guys are saying, you're refreshing. You're looking at CIG chat. You're like, you're letting it consume you, and you're getting, obsessed with it because you want it to come out.
For me, it's not about being consumed.
Well, you've got to be on
the
top
amount
of the
joy.
news.
Yeah.
Yes, mine's much more news than entertainment. And so you guys can move on to something else, whereas I have to press that.
Well, mine is I want to share that with my community, and I go on at whatever time that comes out. If that came out at 3 o'clock in the morning, I go on and I share that with everybody, and we do that sort of together. I just take a peek at the
dev tracker.
But
before my stream is what I do. I'll take a peek at the dev tracker. If anything's exciting's happening, we'll talk about it. If not, we just go about our business, because I'm not going to let this 2.0 just bother me, right? Because it has been for a little while. And I say, you know what? When it comes out, I'm going to have fun with whatever game I'm playing at the time, and that's it. But that doesn't take away from the fact that maybe we should be having these go, no-go messages out to us. And I think the communication has had its issues in the last year. Probably. And that's because the community team has gotten much smaller, right? Because as people have left, people haven't really
been replaced.
So the weight is pretty much on Disco to do everything. Because Ben obviously is part of the community team, but he's also part of lots of other important things that aren't involved in the community. And those two guys are probably just abnormal, just stressed beyond belief. But at the same time, they need to get more animators. They need to get more artists.
I think they are in the process of hiring the gaps that they have, even in customer service and game support and all of those areas at the moment. So
I think they're just waiting to get to the new office to fit them.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's probably what the wait is. So I think they maybe know their issues, and maybe we don't have to mention it. But
it is something I thought needed
just in
to be
case,
brought
it's
up.
something that has bothered me, right? As well. We've talked about it, and it's just, I remember what it used to be, and I know what it is now, and it's kind of not the same. It's not bad, but it's not the same. And I like the way it was before. That's just my opinion. right?
Yep.
So speaking about the move,
Yeah.
we can talk about that. The place is much larger, and they will be able to hire more people finally to make the game faster. So, and those important people to make the ships that need to come out, the areas that need to come out, blah blah blah, all that stuff. And I'm gonna scroll down a little bit to the first part of RTV, just because it's related.
Yeah.
They're taking quote unquote 1 more week before they move, and they were kind of like before 2.0 comes out. They kind of like said it. They just straight up said it, and they didn't. I don't know if they realized it. They just brushed over it, but they kind of just said it.
Yeah, they did also say that that's later.
They backtracked.
Yeah, well, they said
later.
that that's not a hard confirmation if it's going to be released after this week, because it's literally after they've done that live stream. I think they're moving the offices later this week. So
yeah,
it's after the live stream now.
But they kept saying they don't want to move during the time that 2.0 is being developed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And I think
Or
that's
they want to keep those people going in their momentum, keep their momentum going for as long as possible. And I mean, that makes sense. But yeah, that's definitely how that looks, is just like, yeah, we're just gonna move after we get 2.0 out, kind of thing. But I mean, they also have the anniversary sale tomorrow and all of that stuff and everything. So it just makes a lot more sense, even if 2.0 was already out, that they stay anyways, just because they have all of this stuff that they're doing.
Live stream, yeah.
Instead of having to worry about them set up all the offices and all of that other stuff as well.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then EMP, which is really cool.
Oh, I'm so excited about this.
Yeah, so they're just finalizing how it will disable system components. Like, will it affect? It might affect your missiles. It might affect your radar, and how it's all going to work. And then they're really excited to see what the VFX guys do to create the damage what it looks like. Because currently it does have an effect when, like, because I know I put whatever amount of sucker punches, 6 onto a Hornet one day and shot at another Hornet, and it creates this like. Does make like this little distortion of the picture or whatever, but
I desperately want it to look like an electrical
Me
wave
too.
in water.
Yes.
I want it to have that watery effect and the electric effect, and that's the sort of thing
And
I
sort
want.
of like a
That's how I
shockwave
visualize it.
effect. That's
Yeah,
what you're
like,
talking
I
about,
want
right?
it- Because all we have now is like a little shockwave. That's actually kind of what it looks like. It's a small little shockwave where the guns hit, but like think I don't know,
think the
going back to
explosion.
Battlefront.
Right? Think of the explosion when it hit the ship, or when the ship exploded, that you see all the electrical discharge and everything. Wouldn't it be cool that if all you saw is you saw the shockwave of stuff go out, right? That sort of water look like that you said, and when it does hit electrical things, you just see them start to spark and arc electricity and stuff like that. That would be super cool.
It would even be kind of cool if it had no obvious effect of explosion other than the impact of a missile. You see nothing until it hits objects, and then electric arcs and stuff like that. That would look kind of cool if you had like asteroids and metal objects around, because you'd see a ever expanding kind of arcing electric when it hits anything.
Yeah.
I think that might be kind of quite cool as well.
I just think like Palpatine from Star Wars with the lightning too. Like I want to see that just like all around the ship. I think it would be cool. But yeah. So this is going to be not only is it going to be a very cool piece of the game, I think it's going to be an essential piece of the game, right?
Well, it is
for pirates, for everybody,
for bounty hunters, for pirates, for
everything. I think everyone's going to have some sort of EMP potentially on their ship if they're doing any sort of combat. I feel like it's going to be almost essential. So, there's definitely going to be it can't
like it's
be
non-lethal,
essential, but I think it'll be a big
non-lethal
part of a lot of people's
combat.
builds.
Yeah.
Right.
You know,
Obviously, it won't be essential because there's going to be all sorts of cool styles that people are going to make for their ships. But
the other thing too is remember that there's going to be planets and stars and stuff that will have the same effect as EMPs if you get too close to them and stuff like that as well.
space lightning.
Yeah.
Space lightning.
Space lightning. You heard it here first, guys.
Yep. Right out of the horse's mouth, the ass's mouth. So style guides. They just said they were working on the Anvil style guide.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing special. That means
We kind of know what the Anvil ships look like.
They already showed us the Anvil style guide,
Yeah.
but that probably just means that there's ships added to the style guide.
Mm-hmm.
although at least they're planning to develop them a lot further. Yes, it does.
Does the
mean-
Crucible have a ship yet?
Is it the Anvil Crucible?
I think it's gonna be the Anvil Crucible. I don't know
I
if
think it is. I think it is Anvil.
is it already Anvil? Do we know? That's something that I'm not
I
100%
don't
know.
on.
I don't know. I thought it.
I think it is the Anvil though.
I think it is Anvil or A. It's Anvil or A, just like every other ship.
Yeah, it's got to be Anvil. It
I'm
wouldn't be
pretty sure
Aegis.
it's Anvil.
I think it's gonna be Anvil. It's definitely not gonna be Aegis. Too many fucking Aegis.
I need to go to the funding page to
No,
see.
I need to go and look, and I'm gonna just Google
$60
some
million.
Proxy says yes, it's Anvil.
Anvil.
Yeah, $60 million stretch goal.
Just Control F60 mil.
Oh, it's 60. It's 59 million.
Okay.
I lied.
Yeah, just search it.
Anvil Aerospace Crucible.
Okay, there we go.
Nice. So that's why they're updating the style guide, because Crucible.
Yeah.
So at the time, that might have been like one of those things, like, oh yeah, Crucible's definitely coming. But
Working on Mark Hamill's first scene, right?
yeah.
Right.
And before we even go into that, the guy who they talked to in this, I put the link in there on the side for you.
yeah.
The guy who they talked to during this segment in Foundry 42 Germany
Yep.
is super cool.
The guy with the hair,
got
right?
it.
The guy. He reminds me of the lion from Wizard of Oz.
No, not the guy with the hair.
Oh, the other guy. The other guy.
He looks like
He
him.
does look like the
does
lion.
look like him.
Yeah.
He
Oh
really
my
does look like the lion. So that's what we're gonna call him from now on, the lion.
Yeah.
Courage. That's
He
what
has
I'm
no
gonna call
courage.
No.
He has no courage, that guy. But he brought on another guy he seems like one of the main dudes there. And the first thing he mentioned was the scene that they're working on is like his first time back in the cockpit,
it. Yeah.
which is
And
like
they were really, really obviously massive Star Wars fans.
Yeah.
Their eyes lit up when they were talking.
yeah, they
about
were
it.
so excited. They wanted to tell us everything.
And,
and
the
they didn't.
German office never shows excitement ever.
Ever.
No.
Normally, it's just like, guys, I know we've got to do this because Chris has basically said we have to produce a video each
But
week.
I'd
just
really have
showing
my guys
stuff.
would rather have
Yeah.
my guys. Like he says
Like-
it like every time too. He just straight up says it. He doesn't care. He's got courage. He's got more courage than we think.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
he
he's
straight
good
up
at-
says that stuff.
They're
Yeah.
good. The
No, he's
German
cool.
office does-
He's cool. I like
Oh,
him.
super cool. Super cool.
I want to hang out with that guy.
Me too.
I think just like hanging out with him, and he just seems like really chill.
I would probably walk right past Chris Roberts and buy that guy a beer first.
It depends if they're having a pee in the cubicle behind me. I'm not going to notice anyone.
No,
That's
he's
always
just
so nice.
he'll just Skype us and be like, "Hey, yeah, just taking a wee."
Wait,
Is that
Oh,
Aaron
hey,
Roberts?
is that Aaron Roberts? I don't know. No, I'm pretty sure that was Aaron Roberts. And you look over. Oh yeah, it is.
I have to go completely off topic here, but in the UK, do you guys call bathroom stalls, like where the toilet is and you go and close the door, a cubicle?
We probably cubicle or toilets for them, and then we call the others urinals.
Yeah, we call them urinals too.
Yeah.
But cubicles in the US are like places where people work.
People work. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in the same way that your cubicles are shit, we take a shit in cubicles.
Okay.
Yeah,
Fair
makes
enough.
sense.
Yeah.
Kind of has. Some
So
something.
they mentioned a UE. It was funny. This is where he was like, "Oh man, I can't spoil anything." They were like, "There's going to be a UEE scene in a UEE hospital," and he's like, "But we can't tell you why you're there, or if you're there, and why you're there, and all these things, because then all you're going to have is questions." So like, I just wrote there like, "Why are we in the hospital?"
Why CIG? This is the most
What
important.
happened to a
Why are we in the
CIG?
hospital?
So there's a scene in the hospital, and that's one of the things they're working on too. And 90% of the shoot was covered, which I think we did. We knew they had kind of already mentioned this to us, but 90% of what they did in the original Imaginarium shoot while Chris was out there. That's 90. I couldn't get it out right. That's 90%
Yeah.
of the entire story, and they kind of mentioned what they really liked about this project was that the story was locked. The story was locked before they started. Every single sentence was
Yeah.
locked, not to be
The script
changed,
was done.
Nothing.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
done.
but the script can be done, and then they can midway cross something out and say no.
That's the really great thing about Chris Roberts'
Yes.
stuff is that he has knowledge from all of the areas, and
Mm-hmm.
because of his film career, he's literally gone, I know how I want this story to go, that's there, done, and now I want to develop the technology to make it what it is. So that story is... I love the fact that he's not going to change it. I love that. I just think he's so prepared for what he needs.
And being
that's
prepared,
great.
here is what's going to make this game come out faster, right? Because what makes it so what must make it so hard for animators, especially, is one word changes and they have to do everything different with the mouths and the faces and all that stuff. If they know exactly what every single line's going to be, how easy is that going to be? I mean, it's going to be so much easier for them than any other job they've probably done. And then they kind of mentioned that there would be no poop jokes, and that made me sad.
No poop jokes.
But he did say it was going to be kind of funny,
Yeah.
but the correct amount of humor.
Well, look back at the reveal of the Idris at CitizenCon. What was that called? It was like a walkthrough with the guy's name.
Oh yeah. I remember the tour.
The Morrow Tour.
Yeah.
Morrow Tour. So the Morrow Tour had just the right amount of funny, right? It was like subtle humor. It was funny, but we laughed. And I feel like it will be a lot of that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, okay.
Like, they seem to think that it was really funny.
I keep on watching that Morrow Tour, and I keep on seeing the guy sitting down with the really white teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His teeth are so white.
Yes. All right, so we're moving on to Reverse the Verse now. We already mentioned the move holding off for one more week.
Yep.
But
What
then
about
they
the
mentioned-
constellation?
Oh, I skipped right over that. Sorry, I just saw blue and went to it. The most important thing about ATV, I just scrolled over.
Like the
Sorry,
biggest,
guys.
biggest,
The
coolest
biggest thing. I was really
Yeah.
sad about poop jokes, and I just wanted to move on. All right. The Connie reveal was awesome. It took up most of the show,
Yeah.
and I mean, what did you guys think? I obviously have a Constellation Aquila, which it made me sad that that's not going to be coming in all that soon. But the rework is just
So
cool.
I do like some of these interviews and reviews, and I liked the tour of this.
This is what I
Connie-
like the most.
But what I would have liked more, and just for
can
this
you ask for
particular
more?
situation, was I would have liked a nicely rendered camera to go round it and then go through it. What we got was him explaining stuff as he was
And
chopping
moving,
through it.
yeah, and he was moving the mouse all over the place and,
Yeah,
and jerky. Okay.
Because if they had that camera, I just really like that. Obviously, for me, I look at it and go, I can use that for one of my videos
Yeah.
when it looks really nice and smooth.
Yeah.
But
Right.
it just, I just wanted to see the Connie in all its glory. And yes, I did want to hear about it, but I'd rather him talk over the top of a video of them just going, oh, look how pretty this is. Oh, look how pretty this is.
I mean, I liked it the way it was. So that's one of
Like,
those
as
things
a
that.
fan,
Yeah, I mean, they showed a
doesn't
lot
matter, right?
to me.
as a fan, it doesn't matter.
I thought it was
being
really
selfish,
cool.
I wanna use it for
I don't
videos.
own a constellation,
Yeah.
nor am I going to at least be starting with a constellation, anyways. But what I really
You're gonna
liked.
use it though. You're gonna.
Well, I'll be in somebody else's constellation with them. I'll definitely be using one in 2.0. But
Yeah.
the thing is, like, there's a couple things that I really liked. Number one, that introduction of a higher level of fidelity once again. But number two, what was really cool was the fact that they actually made it less polygons, so they optimized the ship while making it more detailed at the same time. Now, I understand that it's not that they were just like, oh yeah, we can make details and do this. It was, they removed a lot of the polygons that we didn't see and that were taking up a lot of space that just didn't need to be there.
Yeah.
And then had over the budget to go in and put more detail into a lot of the other components of the ship. But I think that's really cool that they're able to do that. It looks amazing. Like the constellation looks really good now. I like how it has the separated compartmentalized, that word is tough for me, sections of the ship where you have like the front, the neck, the main, and the back, where it feels like if you ever watch basically any sci-fi movie or show where
has to be blocked off.
the ships have to have those different compartments, right? Like, so it just makes it feel bigger and cooler inside. And yeah, like the neck part where you can go down and how the doors both close so it can open without venting out the entire ship to space. Just things like that are really important, and I think that they did a really good job.
But, I mean, they did an amazing job because they halved its polygon or something, didn't
Yeah.
they?
Yeah, well, that's what I just said, was that they have the
amazing.
polygons while upping the quality. And
It's just absolutely amazing. It's that's just insane.
I mean, my favorite thing personally is when I was showing this thing off in my hangar all the time, like the living area was just not a living area.
Yeah.
And like having the couch there and all that cool stuff it feels like a Star Citizen ship now, whereas it didn't really feel like that before. It was just kind of like thrown in, and now like it's like I wanted to switch to a what is it called, the Aegis one. I don't know.
Retaliator?
No, Carrack. The Carrack.
Oh, the Carrack.
Carrack
is a cool ship too.
The Carrack looks so much cooler, you know, and they both did the same thing, and they're both similar sizes.
Kind of.
You know,
I think the Constellation is more of an all-rounder ship, where the Carrack.
Well, I was getting the Aquila, right?
Yeah, but still, I think it's still more of an all-rounder ship than the Carrack is. The Carrack is a very one-purpose sort of deal.
Oh. Well, I mean, I just think that the Carrack is top-tier exploration.
And Carrack is Anvil, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Should be. Don't let it happen again. Holding off the move for 2.0, we already talked about that, so I'm just going to skip that. A lot of Austin content is coming, which is good. Yeah, because, I mean, I think a lot of the Austin content from 2.0 is coming, but a lot of they're the ones working on Nyx, right? Is that correct? I could be wrong, but I thought they were.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's some of the content. We know that they're going to have a lot more stuff. There's a 40-minute segment with Tony Z coming.
That was one question.
That's one question, exactly.
That was just one
I was going to say. Yeah. Yeah. No, so there is a segment with Tony Z coming, and I am really excited to see that. If I could have... I think he is... For us to get anyone on here, I would be super stoked to get Tony Z on and just hear him talk. Just listen to his soothing voice. Talk about Star Citizen and...
I hear you.
Yeah.
I hear you, Saurus.
Yeah.
I'll poke him more.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's the man.
Also, the next great Star Marine is going to be a thing. So the first thing that they're going to do, just like the next great starship, instead of building a weapon to start, they're going to build a helmet. And we know that there's people out there that liked the Frontier Buccaneers, for example, where they had this sort of pirate helmet with the different holograms and stuff. You know there's going to be a bunch of entries with these helmets coming in. And, for example, that guy made that concept work that he made for Star Citizen anyways. So I'm wondering if he submitted that already, right? And it's like, okay, there's five suits right there. There you go, done. And then
have you seen the 3D printed cosplay Kickstarter?
I did see the 3D. You know what's really funny is I contacted that guy back.
Oh, really?
Way back when, to see if because he was charging. I think he's charging more on his Kickstarter right now than he was through. I think he was doing it through Etsy. But I messaged him, and to see if he would do it, and he's like, oh, I don't know. I was like, what if I got it together a group of people that would be interested in purchasing it? Then would it do that anything? And that was about that was when we first got that coming out, right? Because I was looking around to see if I could find somebody who did that. I also went to Combustible. I think I messaged him about it, and he's like, I can't do it because of copyright reasons or whatever. And I was like, okay, well, cool. And that makes sense. And so I went to this other guy, and he's like, I don't know, I only make Halo helmets right now and all this other stuff. And then so it's cool to see that I feel like I had a part in that, kind of.
But this is what I want to get my mate, one of my friends doing. He wants to, with me, sort of build props. And one of the things we'd do we'd do full armor suits, we'd do HEV suits, and then we'd fiberglass mold them and just pump them out as cheap as we could. Yeah. Because they're just cool, so cool.
Yeah.
Look how cool
it's just for a single, like, I want to back his Kickstarter, but for like $700 for the helmet is a little steep for my budget.
Yes, so. I think the cheapest one you can get is $600.
Yeah, or $600. Sorry, is still
pretty expensive
for just a helmet. Is a little much for me.
That helmet is not going to fit my giant head either.
Yeah. Well.
One thing that I actually want to mention, because I'm kind of like talking in the chat as well, that they mentioned on RTV that I didn't write in here, is Sandy's been talking to some, oh, what are they called? Like promotion people.
PR?
PR people.
Publicist.
Yeah, like a publicist. To get them to go wider, is how she described
Yeah, so
it.
next year they want to go wider. That's what she said, wasn't it?
So
yeah.
that might mean commercials. That might mean advertisements in magazines and things like that. So
Well, this is the thing.
like
Once they
a lot
start,
of other games do.
once they start selling Squadron 42,
That's
that
when
is profit money, and they
Yeah.
can start to put money into that outside of game development.
exactly.
So that's sort of what that is. Whether they do that or not is whatever, but that's what that is. They could go and put that back more into the game, which I wouldn't be surprised if they did take a large portion of that and do that. But they could also start using that money to start advertising other things a little stronger.
I think we don't want them to waste money on advertising,
Right.
but as long as the advertising is relevant and useful and helps them sell the products, I think it's great. But I think we're very much of a generation that doesn't like traditional advertising.
Well, look at that.
We like,
How much advertising have they needed so far?
well,
No.
exactly. All of their stuff's been guerrilla and viral, which is what the sort of stuff we like. But they are selling physical copies of the game as well, aren't they?
Yeah.
So they'll be available in game shops. So they do need some form of marketing.
Yeah.
As long as they just don't spend, and they don't need to. They don't need to spend too much money on marketing.
But-
to increase their sales. So
Going back to the next Great Star Marine, the actual competition is
Yes.
going to be the Class 9 Titan armor, which we haven't seen anything
Oh.
of. We've seen the light, the
That's-
medium, the heavy.
And
I don't
apparently,
care how much it
Sandy
is,
just
I'm gonna
figured
buy
this
it.
out in like 45 minutes. She was just like, "Yeah, we're gonna do this," and that was it.
Yeah, and then that was it.
And like
It's a good
3
idea.
days later, we heard about it.
Yeah.
Like that's how much of a beast this woman is, right?
stuff gets done if she says we've got
Yeah.
time and we've got the budget and we've got why not fill the void while we're waiting with some cool player-made stuff?
I know I couldn't wait for the next Great Starship every week.
Yeah. Next Great Starship was so fun to watch together and like
Yeah.
and do that. I remember doing that as well. It was really
I
exciting.
don't understand.
That was one where that was one of the only. That was the only video series that they do that I refreshed their YouTube page for because I couldn't wait.
But why don't they do that more often? Why
Because
don't
it
they
costs
have?
money and it costs Chris time, costs the other guys
development
time.
time.
They could find a way of doing that costs them a lot less, and you've got to remember that they're going to be saving money and time on assets that are literally player made and generating loads of extra content for them,
And
They're gonna
possibly
be
finding new
highly
They found their
employees.
artists.
Yeah, I
They
mean,
found a
they're
lot of
getting
their
loads
artists
free
that they're
work.
using now.
You could literally every few months I could go.
Look,
well,
Zane,
design this asset
Elwin,
for us.
right?
Boom.
There's two that I can think of right off the top of my head.
Zane, no.
Yeah.
Was
I
Zane
loved
Zane
it. I
wasn't from?
No.
I thought he was. I thought he
Zane was
from
part of the
first
project
round.
way before. Zane was in Austin when it was only Austin.
I'd like to see how
Mm.
much money it generates them compared to how much it costs them. Or how much
Yeah.
money it saves them. I'd be very interested to see those figures because for me,
does it
some of
generate
the
money?
best content. Because
Well, I guess they
increases
sold the
hype.
ship.
They sell the ship, it increases hype. They get loads of work done by multiple sources. They basically crowdsource loads of new stuff they wouldn't see. It's loads of content for them. I mean, you've got to remember that's getting YouTube hits, it's getting more people into the game.
Mm-hmm.
It's loads of advertising for them, and I genuinely think it does make them money. But that's an assumption. It might cost them loads. Not go.
And what about-
that's it or something?
What about the freelancer interior?
So yeah, we missed that off ATV. But
Oh,
yeah,
I thought I wrote it.
I really like.
I did, okay.
Oh, you did. Oh, sorry, I'm derpy. I think that looks quite beautiful. I loved the beds because I think the beds are also the escape pods.
Yes.
Yes.
Um,
So
and
don't
that's pretty
accidentally
cool.
push any buttons when you're sleeping. Hopefully you're not
Yeah.
a sleepwalker or have
Well, it's
any
going to be
sort of...
hilarious if you've got teammates in there and you can press the buttons while they're sleeping. So you've got teammates
You're
in there go, LOL!
He's like, yeah, he's
Objective.
like, okay, you know, and they how they've talked about if your character's AFK, they'll go and lay down or whatever, and it's like, oh, he went to the washroom or he had to go, you know, help his family with something or whatever. Well, we're just gonna eject him because he's just sort of doing there, and it's gonna be hilarious. We'll do it
Yeah.
by this Vandal
should take a
planet.
nap.
Let's see how this goes for you. Have fun. You know?
Why don't you take a little nap there, Saurus?
Yep.
Turns out the toilet in our ship is also an escape pod. See you later.
Yeah. So, pretty cool. The anniversary sale is tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm not
So,
hyped about it at all. I'm so hyped.
I'm
I like
so
to spend
hyped,
money.
but so sad too.
Why are
yeah.
you sad, Twerk?
Because I gotta be at work, man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, me and Saurus are going to be having all the
We're
fun.
gonna be
It's gonna be a
holding down
two-man
the
group
fort.
tomorrow instead of the threesome.
Well,
Well, we might grab some other redacted peeps as well, joining
Yeah.
throughout. We'll
to be
cool.
fair, the last one was me and you. So this one will be me and Board. And then I'm sure
Okay.
there'll be another one in the future that'll be...
I was
no,
there
I'll
in
always be
spirit,
there.
though.
I'll always be there. Yeah.
I was
never
there in
know.
spirit when you did your CitizenCon special.
Yeah.
That's true. We wanted board on.
Yeah. We
But there were
tried.
some technical difficulties, right?
Yeah.
Saurus
By
got
that,
some,
by that
some special
technical
viewing after.
that technical difficulty being Board Gamer was drunk.
Super drunk.
That didn't help.
Yeah, no, that doesn't. Yeah, no. But the sale is themed, so we're gonna have different days. They're gonna sell different groups of ships, and I brought up a thing before the podcast with you guys, and I'm gonna bring it up again. Is how do you feel about them only selling certain ships on certain days? Now, you guys, somebody brought up to me that they're gonna sell them all at the end of the sale as well.
Yeah.
But for example,
Even so.
what happens if because the sale is coming up, and maybe I haven't been paying attention to Star Citizen, but I know I wanted to pick up a Caterpillar next time it was on sale, and I find out the day after that
That's on
it's
Pirate
on
Day.
sale, right? So that's going to be on whatever, their Pirate Day or whatever. And I find out the day after, right? But this sale is going from the 19th to the 30th. You know, so it's like, I do know now that it's going to be on more than one day, but I just don't understand why they don't open all ships for the entirety of it.
So I was annoyed that they're not having them open for the whole thing, but I kind of understand, I think, or they're doing it. Obviously, it generates a little bit of odd hype, but it's more that they can show the ship's identities and
Showcase.
have a blurb on each of them. So they can go,
Right.
the Cutlass is for piracy, and explain the Cutlass and the spirit of the Cutlass. They go, the Caterpillar is on Pirate Day as well, and then they can explain
Yeah.
the spirit of the ship. This gives them the opportunity to describe them what they want the ships to be, so there's less confusion in the future. And that's what I'm hoping
Right.
they're doing, because then we don't have another Cutlass Gate.
Right. Which we will talk about in a little
At
bit here.
length, I'm sure.
Yeah, so they're going to be doing that. We know they're going to be talking. I know we have Captain Gloom and Clifford in chat, and maybe other people in the background that have completionist packages. They're going to go a lot in depth into the Million Mile High Club and what that's all about. And they've also alluded that there's going to be other ways to get that. Now, I'm going to call it right now. This is me doing the future. This is only speculation. It is going to be a referral bonus.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think
it's going to be
Ford
one of the
mentioned that
higher...
Too. I would say like referral 100 referrals, something like that, maybe.
Yeah, maybe 42. Right?
I
But
do think it's going to be one of them. I thought it was going to be lower. I thought it was going to be
I think it's going to be
25.
420. That's
or maybe 25. Yeah, it's going to be one of those. It's going to
400.
be... No. It'll be one of those. So that's pretty cool. I don't know what this next... Your notes, I don't know what those mean. Oh, it was the first. If it was the first 100, 10K backers. So, but that's only if they had the $10,000 Wing Commander package or the
Yeah.
$15,000 Completionist package. That was the only way to get
Yeah.
that. And then once they switched over to the non-physical stuff, they also got rid of the Day with Chris Roberts and this.
Yeah.
So if you don't have this already, you can't get it. The
The
only
Day
other
with
way.
Chris Roberts, quite
Yeah.
creepy, as a perk, for Chris as well. Who bought the one with the special day with Chris Roberts? Oh God, not him. Kind
yeah.
of thing.
Like, oh no.
But you can also get invited there as well, can't you?
Yes.
You can get invited to the Million Mile High Club. You can invite your.
That's right, and
Yeah,
that's
they
what I was
said
going to say. If
you
you know
know
someone,
somebody,
you can get into
You
it.
can get, they can bring you in easy. So.
for limited time.
Right. So, but if you don't have any friends, fuck you. I don't know. I mean, it will be interesting to see especially after they show what is all a part of Million Mile High Club. We know it's like a nightclub or whatever. How much more people become more friendly with the people who are known to have completionist packages, if that's something that interests them, because that is the only way into that, right? Yeah. So definitely interesting that's the only way into that. I don't know if there's going to be a way to earn that in the game or not.
Well, there's kind of probably they're putting so much effort into it and talking about it so much.
There has to be more than 100 people. Yeah, it can't be.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if those 100 people are happy about that. I would be kind of pissed. I got something super cool and unique, and I want to invite you, not you get to get in if you do.
But we don't know how that's going to work, right? It may be a thing of where, okay, I can there's different ways you can invite people in. And say, for example, Clifford says, okay, I'm going to invite Board Gamer in, but I'm also going to invite Twerk in, and Twerk is going to have the ability to invite more people. If he wants, kind of thing.
Let's go, fam.
Yeah.
Everybody's coming.
Yeah.
I'll be like, let's have a dance party.
Yeah. So it depends. If they do it that way, then yeah, it's neat. But once again, I don't know how those big spender backers are going to feel about that. Ben said that there's going to be a new way, and we might hear about it tomorrow. We're definitely going to hear about it tomorrow. I think that's what it's going to be. It could be something different. It's all speculation in my head and everything. Cutlass post.
I'll let you guys start with this one, because again, I don't have too strong of an opinion on this.
Well,
last week we were talking about Cutlass Gate, about the anger and confusion over the Cutlass. No one really knew what the spirit of the ship was anymore. It got kind of battered by people buying it for different reasons, and then people developing it, and Chris Roberts' idea of it, and everyone else's idea of it, and it all just kind of got battered out of shape. And no one really knows what the Cutlass was for anymore. But it's become
still
they have kind of defined its spirit now in that Cutlass post.
Kind of. I'm gonna cut you off a little bit here.
Yeah.
Just because I have already brought this up today during the podcast. What it boils down to, it's communication. And it's not that we're not getting enough of it. We did get a lot of communication with this. The problem is that communication was contradicted by each person who talked about it. Each person who talked about it said something and was taken as gospel and stuff like that. There were things that were put out about the Cutlass that weren't true, that Ben had referred to, saying that, oh, well, when I designed it and I had this idea in my head about it, this is what it was supposed to be. But everything that has come out since the ship has been out, including the original documents that came out with that ship, did not line up with what that vision was. And so basically what it boils down to is it's not that there isn't communication, it's the communication that is there is just so contradictory that you don't know what's going on. And I'm going to make a very strong point with exactly this post and what was said several days right before this post, while they had already had most of this post written according to them. And that was that they had made the post about the Cutlass and it not being able to be maneuverable as they want it to be because of the way that it was designed, and that it has they weren't going to be they weren't going to be able to move the thrusters around, and because of the physics of the ship and how it was designed, it just wasn't going to be able to do that. Then they go in this exact post, they say, oh yeah, with 2.0 it's going to fix all that. Because of the new IFCS, when they had said that it's not going to be able to do that, or is not going to be able to bring it to the level that they want because of the physical locations and because of IFCS. So once again, that's another thing where they sort of contradicted themselves within that period of time when they're trying to clear everything up. And I think that's what is boiling down to what the main issue behind the Cutlass is we don't know where it's supposed to be. We were told to buy the ship based on its role, and the role keeps changing, the role keeps moving around. And with literally every other ship, it's stuck to its role and what it's supposed to be, and it's conformed to that, right? So the Hornet, they've made sure that the weapons fit. It's gone through that iterative process of making sure that it flies high, like a tank, and kind of slow and tanky, but still has a lot of weapons and can still deal with stuff. Then you have other ships like the Gladius that it's fast, it's maneuverable, it's a light fighter. It makes sense. They've stuck to everything. It was just this one where it's sort of like, oh, it's a freighter, it's a fighter, it's a freighter, it's a fighter, it's I don't know what it is. It's a modular. It's a modular everything. It's super maneuverable. Oh, it's not that maneuverable. It's just there to run the FPS in games. That's all it's there for. It's one of the more maneuverable ships in game. Oh, but it only outmaneuvers the bigger freighter ships, and it's so the problem is they haven't been consistent with the information going out with it, and that's what the issue is. That's what Cutlass Gate is all about. So even if you're not interested in what the ship is or what it's about, or if you don't give a fuck whether it's in the game or not, it's still important for the fact that we need to make sure that the information that we're getting, even if it doesn't stay the same, and we know that stats are just stats and those are to change, that they're still consistent with what they say. If they say, hey, buy ships based on the role, then make sure that those ships stay on those role, because there's going to be a lot of people who spend out real money on these digital JPEG ships, right, that are being purchased for the role. That's why I purchased this ship, right? I started a pirate org. This was the spirit of the ship. Mm-hmm. So sorry to cut you off about that. I needed to get that off that while that was still fresh in my head, and that's what the issue is. The issue is just the inconsistency of communication, and it leaks into other things. It was
sent all over the place.
Well, it's leaking in other things other than just ships.
The spirit of the ship should remain clear and not change. That's important. When they talk about this is the concept for the ship, great. That base spirit should never change. I mean, they can do lots of additions and stuff to it, but this is a ship for repair. The Crucible needs to be a ship primarily for repairing things. It can do scavenging as well or whatever. That doesn't matter as long as the spirit, its main goal is the same. And with the Cutlass, it just kind of went everywhere. But yes, you're totally right. But there is a kind of a good thing that's come with this, is the fact that they're doing the new Shipyard kind of series.
Right.
Yes, absolutely.
Right. Oh,
that's what I was going to say.
There's definitely good things that come out of this, right? They do understand. I mean, it's a little late. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be brutally honest. But it was a priority a year ago, right? It was this time last year that they said it was going to be a priority for them to fix. Or maybe a month from now, that it was a priority to fix, and and then it just bounced everywhere, and we didn't see anything. Then we saw like the smallest little hints of some concept art, and then we heard nothing for a long time. And
it's here now, Saurus.
I know. I'm just saying. I need to. Whether they watch this or not, I need to hold them accountable for the things that they say they're doing. If people don't hold them accountable, then there's nothing they're going to do about it. So they need to, if it's going to be a priority, they need to make sure that it stays on that priority. I know, and this comes down to their communication. It sounds like there's those communication issues within as well, and that's completely understandable. You have 300 employees. There's all kinds of things going on. There's definitely more important things going on, but it comes back to informing the community about what's going on with things. And so it was told that it was a priority a year ago. It clearly wasn't. It should have never been said that, right?
Okay, but
I mean, here, FPS was a priority. Like, this is just playing devil's advocate. FPS was a priority. Things happened. Things broke. Right. They couldn't figure it out. And that kind of seems like the same thing that's what happened with this one. Right. Right.
But I'm gonna say there are some good things.
I don't disagree with you at all.
Right. There are some good things that did come out of this. There was it's over 1,000 pages now. The quintessential official Cutlass thread. That's right. And obviously it made CIG take notice. There hasn't been any ships yet, except for this one, where there's been this sort of public outcry of ships or for a specific ship yet like this. And
Yeah.
I know that people are concerned about the Banu Merchantman and the Caterpillar and things like this, but we all knew that those ships are coming later, and they made that very clear. So there's no real issues with that.
Well, I think with the Cutlass as well, the price point's right for a lot of people to buy one.
Right.
Because you
But we are
just kind of
seeing
get $100.
this kind of post. We're seeing them talk about it more. We're seeing them say, hey, look, this is the first time we've sort of seen that flexibility of, you know what, guys, maybe this isn't what's happening, so this is what we're going to do to fix it. Maybe we'll introduce the Buccaneer as a ship. And that we haven't seen them do something like that yet.
Well, it's good that they. It's good that.
So
we
it
know
is
they'll
good
do
that
if we practice it.
they're going to do something like that, and that is really important as well when it comes to this. That shows that they are listening to us and that we are directly affecting things.
But in the short term, for 2.0 alpha anyway,
Yeah.
the Cutlass will be getting that interim, that small update, making it more manoeuvrable, improving its speed so it can actually catch
Right.
up with the ships and fight them, and bringing it in line with all the new flight model stuff. As well as updating like the UI,
Right.
and looking like it's going to be multi-crew friendly, which is great if it's going to be on release multi-crew friendly.
Right.
Yeah, so I mean that's like what the one thing that really upset me, and I'm gonna lighten the mood here, is the first day the post came out. I read the damn thing, and I'm like, all this is the history. This post is bullshit. I was so mad because I scrolled down, and there's the sale part.
Past the sale part, bro.
Because the
Past
sale part is always the end of every post.
Yeah.
So I finished my stream after talking about it. Nobody said anything to me that there was more,
Yeah.
and I just went about my business. And then the next day, somebody said to me, there was more twerk.
Yeah.
And then I scrolled down, and like that's where the important
important
information
parts.
was.
Yeah.
That was like, hey,
And the
it's going to
voting
be
and
yeah, there was the voting, and like because that's where I found out about it. It was like, twerk, did you vote for the ships? And I'm like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about voting? I didn't see any vote.
There wasn't
And-
an option that said, I'm going to keep the Cutlass and I'll buy a Buccaneer as well.
Yeah,
There
which
was
is what they want us to do anyway.
there was one that said, I don't own the Cutlass, but I'd like to buy the Buccaneer, and so that's what I voted for. But
Yeah.
there wasn't a post that said I would buy both.
Yeah,
Which I would. Like, I'm sure I'll still find a use for the Cutlass. Is just, yeah. Anyways, moving forward, it should improve greatly in the areas where it lacks. In terms of 2.0, like Board Gamer said, and I think we expected a bit more from the post. And maybe it's I don't know if it's something they should have shared earlier or not, but the community was pretty upset, and it kind of felt that, like I said, there was a lot of contradictory stuff, and it's just that, like I said, it's not that they're not communicating with us. They put out 3 videos a week, 4 videos a week. They're always in Reddit. Like I know Xylo comes into my channel, Brennan goes into your channel. We get other people that pops in and out. People constantly are talking to CS or people through Twitter and things like that. The communication is awesome. It's just the communication needs to be consistent. That's all. It's just the information that you're sending out needs to be consistent with what is happening. And I think they are learning from this whole, for lack of a better term, debacle. So, Jump Point is on Friday.
Yay!
Yeah.
We do also know that those variants are going to be rebalanced a little bit as well when the new Cutlass Black comes out, because obviously that's just an interim update they're doing. And so for the future, we'll get all those new component systems, we'll get updated turrets and mounts, and any other new bits and bobs that become available. Obviously, it needs to become fully in line with AI for multi-crew as well.
Right.
So that's all going to affect that Cutlass. And then those, as I said, those variants will need to be updated as well, but they're all going to keep their original spirit. So the red will be a search and rescue ambulance still, and the blue will still have its combat edge and be a police cruiser with those prisoner cells. So I do think they have kind of listened. They're also talking about making it a bit more modular as well, in the same way that the Vanguard series has the Battlefield upgrade kits, so that you can bolt on the different pods onto your black to make it more like, or to make it the blue, or to make it the red. So I think that's kind of quite cool. I'd quite like to see all ships kind of like that, and maybe the phase out variants, except in very specific circumstances. I think there should be less variants, but the hulls be significantly different for variants, and then have the rest of the ship.
Well, I think that's sort of
for me.
what they're doing with the Constellation, and that's one of the reasons that they had to rework it as much as they did, because they need people to be able to switch the front ends and stuff now that they've made those variants look different. And with other ships, they don't look different. It's like a different paint job, or it's because they have missiles, so it has missiles on it. But
Yeah, it
the
was like
cockpits
different
are all the
loadouts
same.
originally.
Yeah. Well, remember
older ships.
the older ones? They were like they look differently, right? Look at the 350R compared to the 300i. They look completely different.
Yeah.
But the Aurora series are pretty much the same.
Pretty much the
ship,
same.
A couple of
But if
different
you
mounts.
look at the Constellation, they all look different. The front ends are all different and stuff like that. So, I mean, it makes sense to do what they're doing. I want to remind everybody that we do have questions. If you have any questions for us about Star Citizen, about us, about our channels, or about Redacted, either the podcast or the content creator group as a whole, ! Question in chat. I also want to remind you that we are doing a anniversary commentary stream tomorrow, starting at 10 a.m. I do, and we're actually going to be doing some giveaways for that. One of those is the Merlin or the Archimedes, if they announce that. Type ! Merlin in chat, and you'll see a link to Redacted. Just make sure that you make a post in there. I do want to talk about what we are most excited for tomorrow, before we get into questions here.
Breakfast.
Okay.
I love breakfast.
Okay, so before the Crucible, are either of you gonna be, because that's the ship we know is coming out, it's gonna be $350, right?
I think I'm buying it.
Nope. Not for me. You don't need it.
Look at
Twerk.
Twerk's face. Look at it.
I think I'm buying it.
Twerk,
got
I think
on
I'm
the
buying
right.
it. I think I'm buying it.
Twerk,
Got
you know
an
what you
eye.
I think I'm buying it. I think I'm buying it.
Oh my god. Oh no, I thought I did.
You're going to be too busy mining to be able to make use of that repair ship.
You're right. I know, but
You don't need it.
How are you gonna
Don't need it.
repair your mining ship though, bro?
exactly. How am I going to repair your
What?
mining ship when you crash it into stuff?
I
No,
don't.
no, 'cause
I was looking for
what we're
warheads
gonna do-
because his face was making that warhead face.
what we're going to do is we're going to bring my Idris in. We're going to bring my Endeavour in. Yeah, the Hospital Endeavour, and we're going to park them next to our mining ships while we're mining, just in case if we die, we spawn at the hospital ship and quickly zerg back into the fight.
That's
Yeah.
true. It's like
what we
reclaimer or that. It's going to be a tough. If it's really friggin' awesome, I'm buying it. Because I said it
What about
earlier.
it?
I said it earlier when during like the splash screen that I came into some a repaid loan that I wasn't expecting.
Oh.
You've been playing Monopoly. That
It
sounds
was
like
it was a
Monopoly.
loan from a long time ago that I thought I just considered it lost, and it became found.
Dollar bills, y'all.
It's not many dollar bills, but
we
it's
It's
do
enough
need
to
the Crucible.
buy a Crucible.
to consider buying. It's not enough to buy a Crucible, but it's enough to
To
throw out a
consider it.
Crucible.
The Crucible might be a little bit scavengy as well. We have heard.
No,
So
well,
if
it
that's
would make
the case,
sense.
then it's over. I'm buying it. It's
Okay.
over. If that's the case, that's the simplest decision for me. Like my button, my finger. Here's the button, guys. It's just
Combat
above it.
ships.
Doomsday clock. Is that
What combat ships
10 to
do you
midnight.
have?
I have the Hornet and
Just
the
a
Saber.
standard one.
Super Hornet?
No, Super Hornet and the Saber.
Okay, so
And
that
then I
is,
have an Aurora LN if you want to consider that a combat
That
ship.
is a
Well, I was
combat ship,
thinking-
yeah.
And an Avenger.
the only other ship I'm really considering buying at the moment, other than probably if the P-72s, if they're cheap, I'll happily grab. If
That's a given.
If the Dragonfly's cheap.
So
I'll
you
grab
guys
that
are going to
one.
buy a P-72 even without a Constellation?
I have a Constellation.
Oh, you
I
do.
can, I can dock it in one of my many other massive ships. It's fine.
Yeah. Okay.
And they look cool. I love the idea of racing. Lol, 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 troll, lol, lol. But also, the Corvette is the only other major ship that I'm considering buying at the moment. And
I won't
want
buy
it
any
out
large
now.
ships. Like
Yeah, this is
No
the thing
cap
for
ships
me,
for me.
is I'm gonna be buying a Caterpillar for myself because I said as soon as I can CCU that. These are the ships I have right now, right? I have the Super Hornet, I have a Glaive, I have the Cutlass Red, the Cutlass Black, the Orge or the Omega, and a Herald. Okay, I'll be definitely, or sorry, Cutlass Red and a Cutlass Blue, not a Cutlass Black. So I'll definitely be keeping the Cutlass Blue. I'll definitely be keeping the Herald. The Omega is
Yeah, whatever.
whatever, right? I can't melt it. It's not worth anything to me. So that leaves 3 ships: the Super Hornet, the Glaive, and the Cutlass Red. The Cutlass Red is going to be the first to go. Because the Cutlass Blue and modularity, and we know we're going to be able to do that. So I'll just get the modules for the Cutlass Blue. I can only fly 1 ship at a time. The Glaive, even though it was a birthday present to myself, and it's kind of this cool thing. It's not something I see myself flying a lot. It's more of a trophy, and it's one hella expensive trophy in my hangar. So
Yeah.
if they do...
Buy something usable with it.
Yeah, if they do a Corvette or something like that, then I'm going to wait and see what that Corvette is. Once again, this is hypothetical. We know that they want to build a Corvette to replace the Idris's role. Whoever that's by, that I may pick one of those up. There is a possibility that they will also be selling more Idris Ps. They have done so every anniversary sale. I also want to point out that every anniversary sale, they've had a surprise large ship for sale that they did not announce beforehand. Right? So last year was the Javelin, which was more than anybody expected to come out. Right? It came in at a $2,500 price point, and was limited in the amount of time that it was, or the amount of ships that were sold. Also, the year before that was the Idris M. So, but both years they sold the Idris P as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if they sold the Idris P as well for those people who want to get that. And I know there are a lot of people who are interested in picking one up as a separate ship without having to buy a package. But it would not surprise me if they did a large ship like that. I'm not saying they will. It's definitely not a guaranteed thing. But if they do and it happens to be Drake, then I'm definitely going to be buying it. If it's not Drake, I don't know if I'm going to buy one.
Retribution Super Dreadnought confirmed on sale, guys, from Source.
Retribution, yeah, right.
10K. Yeah,
I don't even think the Retribution is going to be in Star Citizen. I think it's probably just going to be in Squadron 42. But that's a whole other conversation.
It's going to be in Star Citizen 2. They start
Star Citizen
crowdfunding
2?
for that now.
Oh, boom. He's just joking, by the way, if anybody's taking him seriously or about to publish an article on Kotaku. Yeah, but and also we don't work for CIG. This is all This is the equivalent to verbal diarrhea at this point. But yeah, I mean, if it's a Drake Corvette, then it is. If not, then that's cool. That means that I'll keep my Super Hornet probably. My Glaive, I think, is inevitable. It's gonna go. I think it's just. I think it makes sense.
It's sad, obviously, but again, that's what it is. It's a trophy.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's all it is, right? And it's like, well, it'll be much cooler if I just steal it from a Vandal, because that's going to be a lot harder in the game.
But you won't be able to steal that Glaive from a Vandal. That Glaive is an Asperia.
I'd much rather have a real Glaive anyways.
Yeah, just steal one. That's a friggin' trophy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Steal it from another
real
person.
fucking trophy.
Yeah. Or just steal one from another person.
You just have a die-cast model that's worth $350. Might as well make that a
I don't fly it. I don't use, like, fixed weapons to me are not something I'm really interested in doing.
Mouse and keyboard master race.
That's right. That's right. Until we get that sweet joystick sponsorship. But,
oh my God.
Yeah. Shit. Listen to this guy keeping things so subtle over here. But yeah, so very cool. I think we should, unless you guys have anything else you want to sort of talk about, I hope we see more of Nyx tomorrow too. I'm really excited to see that. I'm excited to see that. I'm excited to see.
That's kind of one thing that we didn't mention, I guess.
Yeah.
What else do we know from the live stream? I think people would be interested in. What we know is happening.
Before let's sit here. I think we could take a few moments here and speculate a little bit, right?
Well, what do we know for certain?
Okay, let's go with what we know, and then we'll talk.
Yeah, 3 hours long at 11 a.m. PST.
Yes. 20% off starting on the live stream for physical items in the store for 48 hours.
Yep.
There's
up to
Crucibles,
3 concept sales.
Possibly 3 concept
free
sales.
flight, maybe. That's a maybe.
It would be nice.
Free flight would be nice. I know a lot of people are getting more and more interested in it and want to try it out.
This is an assumption, but they're going to speak with each office on Skype like they did last year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll get some presentations
Of sorts.
Interviews, questions and answers, and that sort of stuff will definitely happen. Sandy will go into the background and go, "That's bullshit," really loudly, or that's shit, or whatever she did last year, which was hilarious. What else? We're going to see lots of limited ships on sale again. I mean, that's a given.
The Pirate Day, we did say that.
Yeah, each team will be
I don't think
themed
we
in
know that
some
much.
way.
They've been pretty good about being tight-lipped about a lot of this stuff.
Well, they said earlier they weren't sure if you were going to be able to CCU from one ship to another, but they've now confirmed that you will be able to. Every day that the new CCU system will be updated with the particular ship sale that they've got currently going on.
Right.
Other than that, we don't know anything else really for certain, do we?
I don't think so. Honestly, I don't.
No.
It's coming from the old Santa Monica offices. We know that.
Yeah.
And we did see that little video of the little teaser video that Sandy put up, didn't we?
Yes.
Oh,
the one with the Razor logo, which everybody's saying is this is the thing.
The Razor blades.
I know, and even Lando responded to my post on the thread on Reddit that they're like, "Oh, it's just a laptop. Everybody needs to calm down," kind of thing, and. It's like, well, it's sort of framed right in the center of the shot, and it looks like it's an advertisement for Razer. Like, I'm sorry for asking what's going on with that, but it looks like you know what? I'm gonna pull it up right now. It blatantly looks like an advertisement for Razer, and I was like, everything else is like all red and whatever, and then it's got the green, like very obvious snake logo. So let me see if I can find it.
Why? So we'll get that video up at the end of the video. Watch, because you'll see.
Yeah.
It's odd, and I'm probably reading too much into it, but we'll see in a second.
Okay, so let me pull it up here. Oh no, that's the wrong. That is just me. I just did that out of habit.
Pictures of you.
It's just me. It's just me. Okay, so this is it right here. So if we go, I started over, right? It's Star Citizen, it's all the Star Citizen stuff, it's the lamp, and then the green Razer logo's just ominously glowing and standing out so much in the center. Yeah.
I mean, that could be in a...
I think it's just a laptop.
That laptop does not need to be there for that shot.
Well, it's just interesting though that the Razer Blade and stuff, they do a lot of Star Citizen playing on their adverts.
Yeah.
For the Razer Blades.
I
mean, maybe Razer just give them.
It looks like an ad. Is all I'm saying. And people
maybe it kind of is.
Yeah.
Maybe that CIG do use Razer Blades, and just because they use them, they will appear in videos occasionally because they're in the office.
Yeah.
That sort of use our stuff because...
Yeah, there's no way that was an accident, is all I'm saying.
Well, I mean, I think it could be. I mean, it literally could just be, chuck this up here, that looks good, rather than thinking, oh, let's advertise the fact we use these. I don't know.
I think they set it up before they left to go do whatever they went to do, and that's the computer they're going to use.
Yeah. Now, is this the new studio, by the way?
No, this has to be the old studio.
Why does it look? Is that a monitor on the wall?
Why is that TV there?
Yeah, that TV is new.
Yeah, I mean, it looked to me. I went, oh, they're in the new studios, but they did say they weren't going to be for live stream. So,
yeah,
who knows? But
Illuminati confirmed.
At the end of that video, there's a big red cross.
Yeah.
Now,
does that mean that there's no live stream?
Well, no, it's like a little glitch thing at the end where it glitches here and then it's like no signal kind of thing. I think you are looking at see where I look into the Razer Blade logo too deeply. You're looking into this too deeply, I think.
Yeah, maybe. I feel
it's a happy little accident, guys.
I think they might theme something around that. I think with media, I always look into it a bit too much.
Oh my! Okay, I want to show you guys something that just came up on my personal Facebook. One of my friends just did this, and I think this is pretty interesting. He replaced the shifter on his thing with a joystick.
Oh, the joystick.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen it.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
I'm a Facebook stalker.
Yep.
Yeah, it was on the Facebook group. Anyways, I just wanted to show that because that just came up. I never opened Facebook, by the way, so.
You've never used Facebook. You've never opened Facebook before. This is the
first
time
time
you've
ever
used
in
it.
my life.
That's so cool.
Yeah, no, I don't ever use it very much anymore. So, once again, guys, if you have questions, ! question in chat, feel free to ask it to either myself, Board Gamer, Twerk, or all of us. Remember that we do not work for CIG, so if you ask us anything about the game, we will answer to the best of our ability, or just pull shit out of our ass and hope for the best.
Yeah, I'm so good at that.
Feel free to ask questions about Star Citizen, our individual channels or content.
Did we
Things
talk
about us
the
or
Unmelt Tool?
redacted. I don't know. Probably because we don't know too much about it.
Well, we do know a bit about it now.
Yeah.
We know it's going to be available by the end of the year, for example.
Yeah.
And we also know that customer services are no longer taking any form of unmelt requests. from
Right,
ships.
which is important. And we also know that it's not going to be
So we
available
can
for all
actually
ships.
Take tickets.
Sorry, say that again.
It's
Source?
not going to be available for all ships or all packages.
So it's only packages that have physical
That
components.
physical components, right?
Yeah,
That we know.
that won't be available for. But we also now know that it will, if it unmelts something, it will restore it to the original package. They did say that it was going to be to whatever it was upgraded to. That is incorrect. It will basically go, if you've got a Vanguard Warden that you upgraded to a Sentinel and then melted, and you try and unmelt that, it will just unmelt the Vanguard Warden.
Okay.
So it will effectively allow you to remove upgrades from ships. See what I mean? Because
Okay.
you could have your Vanguard Sentinel in your hangar and go, I'm going to melt that because I want the Warden. So you could melt that and then unmelt it.
That
So,
can be
yeah.
confusing, I think, but we'll see.
It could be confusing.
Yeah, it can be. Because I know a lot of people CCU stuff, and they're like, yeah, you know what, melt this. Yeah, there's a lot of ships that I've CCU'd like 4 or 5 times, and then I'm like, oh, okay, I like this better, so I'm just gonna.
Well,
melt
they did say that you will be able to unmelt probably battlefield upgrade kits, pods, ship modules, and ships as
Yeah,
well.
they have mentioned that here and there.
Okay.
They haven't specifically mentioned upgrades, but I'm assuming you can. But they haven't specifically mentioned that you'll be able to unmelt upgrades. So we'll have to see.
Fair enough. So jumping into questions. The first one here from Sideslide to all of us. The Baby Persistent Universe is going to open up a lot of opportunities for stupid things to try. Have you put any thought into what you want to try first? The type of thing that isn't a bug, but isn't a good idea, like the Grey Cat out of the Connie cargo area while in flight.
So the first thing I want to do is jousting. So it'll be either Connie versus Connie or Connie versus Retaliator or whatever. And literally, we'll start off just running at each other. Then we're going to start off trying to super cruise into each other. And it's whoever wins. Just keep on hitting each other.
Yeah, my thing is going to be trying to... well, obviously exploration is going to be the first thing I think everybody's going to want to do first. But mine is going to be more about grabbing FPS weapons and taking them to places that they don't belong. And seeing if they work there.
Taking them to places they don't belong.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
So comlink relays, things like that.
Oh, okay. Just ambushing people. And
Yeah, I just want to have like a dance party out, just EVA dance
That's
party.
such a twerk answer.
Like I
love it.
usually,
Typical
like
twerk.
every now and then, I'll go to the top of the terraformer in Broken Moon, and we'll just dance on the
Just
stripper pole up there.
Dad, you're not in charge of me.
it's a space
I just
stripper
want to
pole.
dance. I
Yeah.
just want to express my
I
feelings
just
through
wanna
dance. And
Yeah.
sing. Jean Frag asks, do you think they will be stopping the option to pledge and get access to the game anytime soon after the anniversary? Not until the
No.
game is out. Not until the game is out.
I mean,
No.
I very much expect like a week before the game is out. So you've got to look a good while yet. That they'll do a massive sale, like a huge sale, and literally do
Yeah.
a big sale up until almost the day of the release of the game.
Yeah,
Because it will be the last time you'll be able to purchase ships that aren't part of starter packages.
that's right.
Because I assume that's what they still do, won't they? They'll probably still do some starter packages you can buy the Aurora. I'm assuming. I mean, I don't know. Will it just be game packages?
I imagine it'll just be game packages, but I think we'll also see the separation of Star Citizen and Squadron 42 as well.
Yeah,
as purchasable
okay.
things. So S-Key Pilot Ace, or S-Key Ace Pilot, does that sound familiar, Twerk? Is asking you a question. I hear that you can defeat A-Wings by attacking from the top. Can you confirm or deny these tactics are legit?
He's been watching you. He's been watching you twerk. It's creepy.
Maybe that's what it is. People kept telling me to attack from the top, but the game doesn't like work like that. It's not that easy. But maybe he's right.
Yeah.
We'll have to see.
I see the
I
salt
don't have that
crystallizing
answer.
on Twerk's forehead right now.
I don't have that answer, but it sounds like that's a trolley question to me.
Shifty
'Cause somebody
McGee
said attack from the top, and I was like, what are you talking about?
asks,
You don't know how to play the
are
game.
there any ships you missed that you're looking forward to picking up at the sale? Yes, the Caterpillar.
So, full disclosure, I've got $405 in store credit in my account. And I don't know what to spend it on. I was hoping for the Corvette.
Do you have a Carrack?
No.
I think you should
Because
get a
I don't need
Carrack.
No, I don't need one. I've got an Orion. I've got an Endeavour.
That's like
I've got loads of shit.
that's the only big ship that interests me. But I'm just gonna do the same thing in my Caterpillar, so I don't really care that much. But
Maybe
it's such
I
a neat
should.
ship. I know.
All right, here's the deal, guys. Nobody buys ships because we can't have this go 100 million until after the new year, okay?
Hey, you shut your mouth and
Otherwise
you
you-
buy the Crucible, okay? You're not gonna be able to buy that.
I'm not. You know what? I changed my mind.
No, you're buying it.
If-
You're gonna
if I
put
have a
money
chance
into your own fate.
To make it be 99,999,650, I will.
Literally, just past
You
midnight,
guys out there, you make sure that doesn't happen. Southern Jumper asked Board Gamer. I assume you guys, there's no ships for you guys that you've missed that you desperately want.
Reclaimer has always been one for me.
No, I don't think so. I mean, during the sale, I go mad anyway. So,
Yeah.
ask me during the sale. Ask tomorrow. I'll have a totally different
Well,
answer. I'll be like, oh,
yeah.
I wanted
Make
that.
sure you stop by tomorrow, and you are here, and we can all collectively lose our shits together. How's that?
Yeah.
'Cause
Um,
no one likes. What I really want to do with a live stream, and what everyone else should do, is rather than watch it clean and crisp directly as CIG intended, you should come and watch it on our channel where we can talk over what they're saying. Do it. Did I not sell that very well, Cyrus?
You're kind of doing the opposite of, yeah. No. It's somewhere where you're going to be able to get your voice heard while still being able to enjoy the live stream with us live. And you'll see our expressions. If you guys remember, what was it, the Gamescom thing with me and the CIG, the other stream that we did with Twerk, a lot of people really, really enjoyed that. So it should be
CitizenCon.
pretty awesome.
Yeah, CitizenCon was awesome.
And Board Gamer, since you're
Yeah.
talking, I have a question for you from Southern Jumper. Do you believe, I don't know why this is only directed at you, but it is. Do you believe the Connie will be able to do everything in the verse, i.e. mining, cargo, pirate, etc.?
No, but I do believe it will have the ability to do a lot of stuff with the right modules. And with the right stuff. A lot of the multi-crew ships will be very versatile if you give them the right stuff. I don't believe there will be a way to put all of the stuff into a ship at the same time.
No.
You're going to have to dock with somewhere. You're going to have to change out those modules.
I think
You're
that's
gonna
what
have to put other ones.
I think that's what he meant. But yeah.
I think that's something that we might
'Cause
see
he doesn't
in the near
say-
future. Is
This question was not directed to you, it was directed to Board Gamer.
It's to me.
I'm muting
to
myself. I'm muted.
Jeez. So I don't.
Well,
think
now
compared
he's
to
not
race,
going to remember to unmute himself. Look at him on his phone.
I don't think
I was
it's
gonna
going
make
to be
a-
able to. It's pretty much. It pretty much be able to do pretty much everything else other than race. I think
Yeah.
probably. I mean, science. Maybe not.
Well,
so
no,
much science,
it'll
but
be able to bring
maybe.
it'll be able to bring your race ship Archimedes to the track though.
It's a good
So
point,
it kind of does do racing too.
especially in a constellation race. It definitely fits the bill.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Why not? I work for CIG. Why not? No, I don't.
So there's a thing that you have to answer in 1 second, and that's Twerk, are you awesome or not? If you don't answer, then you're not. But we need to hear it. And oh, I think his mic is muted. Weird. Anyways, Shifty McGee asks, aside from the Crucible, what other concepts, if any, do you think we'll see? The Archimedes, and I think we might see the Corvette.
So, I mean, it could be lots of different things. It could be the
Yeah.
event variants.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's going to be the Crucible and variants. I want the Corvette, but that's more of a pipe dream want at the moment. We'll have to see. We don't have enough information.
This is directed to all of us, so you're allowed to answer this one if you want. You don't? Okay. Next question from CyberMongo. As a pirate org and having hardcore players along with casual, do you have a current plan of attack to get all the hardcore players on at one time in order to
Did
complete
somebody say casual?
a specific
I'm here now.
objective that overdrive seems necessary? Well, that's the whole point of the hardcore stuff, is that we have sort of more or less a schedule that we stick to for things like that, and that will work on together.
Nobody wants to know about your filthy pirates or
well, obviously people do, because they're asking me, so you have been proven incorrect. But yeah,
put that in there yourself.
Yeah, I put it in there myself. But yeah, there will be specific objectives or specific things that we need to do that are priority, that will take priority over somebody wanting to go role play somewhere. So yeah. Zeus and Oxia asks all of us, what do you guys think the odds are that we'll see another Vandal ship for sale during the anniversary sale?
0%.
Oh.
Like something different?
No, that
Yeah,
mean
like-
that they've got some of those Vandal ships done. I mean, that could be
The
one
bomber,
of the
the
things we
blade. And they've even said that they're going to sell more Vandal ships, so whether they be reproductions
Maybe.
or not.
We could get one, couldn't we? Maybe.
It's a possibility. I don't think it's a high possibility, but it is a possibility. I would say maybe, I don't know. It's 30%.
3 to 16. I don't know.
What are
I
the
don't know how
odds?
odds work.
Yeah, I don't know. 3 to 16. 1.7655 over 32 to 37.5 million to the power
Mute
of
yourself.
3.
Time for you to mute yourself.
In some brackets, over divided by plus
Oh god.
to the power
This
of
is why you
minus.
say math over there
Wait,
rather than
no,
maths. You can
yeah.
only do one number at a time. Chill out.
So,
Okay.
Do you guys say maths?
We say maths because it's an abbreviation of mathematics.
well,
Whereas you say math because you like to do one sum.
0.72. Zeus and Oxia asks, again, to all of us, from that little Avenger search and rescue peak, do you think that one of the variants, that will be one of the variants for the Avenger? I don't think they would. Yeah,
I think it could be.
yeah.
Sorry, could you say that?
You don't
again?
want just one search and rescue.
You know,
type
like
ship,
how
right?
the Avenger opened up during the top to get the thing in. Do you think that's going to be
No,
a
I
variant?
think that a lot of ships were about
It'll
to
be a
grab
module.
pods. Maybe.
It would make sense that if a bunch of different ships could.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking a lot of ships will just be able to go, but I can put that in my cargo hold.
Yeah, I think it'll be treated like cargo, right? So anything that has like a tractor beam or things like that will be for sure able to do that. At least pull it in closer to their ship. But
If you get on a train in the UK during rush hour, you are treated like cargo. I promise you. So yeah, that's not too dissimilar from the truth.
yeah,
I thought it was called the tube.
Oh, I'm gonna hurt you. At least you didn't do like a British accent. Something like that.
My
You were-
favorite-
Oh my god.
yeah. I was gonna do my impression of British
You're gonna
accent.
do me, weren't you?
Yeah.
You're gonna do me doing a video.
Hello and welcome to another Star Citizen video.
Video.
Yeah,
On the
that's exactly
tube.
how I sound.
On the tube.
All right, guys. I'm gonna do a Star Citizen video on the tube. On my blimey. Oh,
Yeah.
let's have a cup of tea.
Oh, governor.
Fuck you guys.
America.
Oh yeah.
Okay. From L.
We do
Lillian.
represent each country though, and I got stuck with America.
All of the Axis allies. What?
Yeah,
I don't know
I have
what's
no
going
idea
on.
what you're talking about.
Anyways, L. Lillian asks, if atmosphere flight is in, do you hope to see re-entry effects including real physics problems like re-entering with no shields or armor, flying with one wing is really bad, then there's another question, so we'll answer that one first. I don't think we're going to see atmospheric flight for a while, to be honest.
I don't think it's in the release of the game. I think that's been said multiple times.
That complicates a lot of things unnecessarily. Or if they do put it in,
he kind of said we might have a little more free form in landing, therefore atmospheric
yeah,
flight.
but I don't know if atmospheric flight is going to become a thing, because if you do that, then ships like
you're
the
gonna be
Herald,
flying in
how's the
atmosphere.
Herald going to fly? Right?
Yeah.
Like, I think, they'll fly in atmosphere, but I don't think we're going to get,
Space magnets.
we're not going to get proper simulation in atmosphere, is all I'm saying. At least, I don't. Do you think we will see CCUs to the 890 jump or Idris tomorrow during the flash sales?
I hope they sell the 890 jump again. That is a ship that I would consider, in the short term, putting any store credit I had spare into.
No.
That's baller. It's a baller
Look at
ship.
me, I'm already hyped.
Yeah.
Now, why? To resell or to because you really want it?
It's one of the stupid ships I want to make content out of.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you think? But that doesn't answer our question. Do you think we're going to see CCUs to those ships?
If they're purchasable, there'll be CCUs to them, right?
Yep, that's correct.
So yes, if they're purchasable. But 890 jump, not purchasable most
Yeah,
likely.
Well,
They did say that it's almost certainly going to be on sale again before the game goes live.
an anniversary sales, they kind of bring everything back.
Yes, that's pretty much the
As long as
the
it
ships
wasn't
we are.
like a numbered thing, and even some of the numbered ships they bring back, Phoenix, Cutlass Blue, things like that.
I
Someone
hope
has
they
just
don't
correctly
do that,
pointed out,
man.
I want to run the love boat. That's
I really
exactly
hope they don't do that.
I don't see a problem
That would
with
upset me a little bit.
Why?
And I didn't even buy one. I've never bought a limited ship, but that would upset me.
it. No, that goes back to the special snowflake thing. No, I don't agree. If they can find room in the economy for the ship to work, then there's room in the economy for the ship to work, and they should be other people should be allowed to get it.
We're all
Yes.
special snowflakes. I'm just more unique than you.
But at the same
like your-
time, some people may have bought that ship because of that. Just like people bought the Cutlass because of what they said.
like the
People may have
M50
bought
or
the 890
350R.
jump because of what they said. Yeah, and I was upset about the M50 too. I like the idea of having a ship that not everyone can have.
But
at the
you
time,
can't.
you know?
You can't have that mentality going into this. You just can't.
I'd say I don't own the ship. I'm
Yeah.
just saying. You know?
I'm just providing a
Yeah.
counter argument. Is I don't agree with you with that. But
Yeah, that's
it's
fine.
just opinion. Bite Marks asks Board Gamer, do content makers still get money from adverts on YouTube if the viewer hits the skip button?
It's a good question. I always wanted to know that.
So you're getting monetization from multiple adverts, not just that sort of stuff. On my channel, for example, there is no skippable ads. I've removed them all, I think. I think I've removed all the unskippable ones and all the skippable ones now.
You have no ads, right?
No, I've got ads that are served during that will appear in little banners and things. So as a content provider on YouTube, it depends on how
You don't have
set
like a
up.
pre-roll or anything.
You don't have pre-roll
No.
ads, yeah.
I don't think so. I mean, they might do it on my channel occasionally, but I've turned all those options off now because I like to test it out for the month, and it seems to be going all right. It seems to be people seem to be enjoying it. But I think just if you don't want to watch the ad, skip away. That you're not offending or damaging that much content providers' money. So just your comfort is more important.
Yeah. There you go. NG Benji asks, is the hype train still alive? With Anniversary and 2.0, do you think we will see 100 million this year? Do you think we will see something special for it? I think that if they get Persistent Universe 2.0 out to the public during this sale or early enough in this sale, then yes, we will.
Choo-choo!
I think the hype train is very much alive right now. I think a lot of people are trying to hide that they have this raging fire behind them. That is like the hype before 2.0. I know I'm trying to do that, but it's going to be like, oh my god, everybody's going to lose their shit and it's going to be the coolest thing ever. I don't think you're going to be able to, like, that train is not stopping. But yeah, I don't know. I think we may miss that 100 million mark now because they haven't been able to produce that before the end of the year.
No, I disagree. I think that 100 million mark. I think.
What are we sitting at right now? Let me pull it up.
I think we're gonna make. I'm gonna
made
guess.
4,000 last week. That's it.
I think we're gonna make 7 million in the sale. I know that sounds outlandish and mad. I honestly think we're gonna make around 7 million.
All right, so here, let me take a look at the funding. And
I don't think they're gonna make that kind of money. So many people are gonna. We're talking about what ships we're gonna melt.
Sitting at 94
what store
million.
credit we're using. They made $4,000 last week. That's it.
$4,000. What?
That's what they made last week.
No.
What are you talking about? They make like $23,000 a day.
Yeah. So what it says last week here is 150,000.
I heard 4,000. That's it.
Maybe last hour.
That's what I get for listening to other content creators other than ourselves. But
no, yesterday on the 16th they made like 14,000.
What about up until Saturday?
The day before that they made 23,000. The day before that they made 21,000. The day before that they made 18,000.
Okay, that's what I get for fucking listening to other people. There we go.
No, so what probably happened was they misread yesterday's right as
14,
the week for 14,000 and forgot
Saturday
the one.
It was recorded.
Okay. Last Saturday was what day? That was
a podcast I like to listen
the
to.
11th or the 12th? What day was that on Saturday?
14th.
The 14th? They made $21,853 on the Saturday.
Way to go. Way to go, podcast.
So let me just remind you that we are the best Star Citizen podcast.
At least the most informed.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
So on the 17th, no, that's by the hour.
Maybe it was 4,000 new citizens.
No,
Maybe.
What happened? What
Maybe
happened?
that's what it was.
They've clicked on hour, and they thought it was a week.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
That's what's happened.
They had to have read it somewhere. They misread it. Maybe it was.
It's a really good podcast too. It could have been Citizens, and I may have confused it myself.
I think by the end of the year we're going to have smashed 100 million, and we're going to be on well
I
on our way
hope so, because I want to see Twerk dressed like a pretty girl.
Oh my god! So, Saurus, if you had a choice,
Not gonna happen.
Dressing Twerk as a pretty girl or as a cute Christmas elf, what would you choose?
Why not a cute Christmas girl elf?
We might do both, and that's a little spoiler of what song I might be singing.
Twerk with bright red lipstick, rosy little cheeks, and pointy ears, with a little jingle hat, and a nice Christmas sweater, and holding a candy cane or something with, like, I don't know, some sort of weird hair, pigtails or something. Right? Are you picturing what I'm picturing?
I've got that image in my head. It's a very special secret image.
It is a very special. It's very special. Yeah. Yeah.
Get the image out of your house, out of your head now.
Okay, Fadern asks, Chris Roberts mentioned getting some kind of tech that he didn't expect to actually get in the game this soon. What are your thoughts on it? What do you think it is? I think he hit it at something to do with planetary landing being freedom. Or was it something else? It was definitely the planetary landing stuff. We did talk about that.
It was during the planetary landings. A little bit more freedom, basically.
Yeah, we talked about that already, kind of. So I don't know if there's much we can add to that.
Nope, we can't add anything to that. We literally talked about it earlier. But more freeform. It should be cool.
Yeah. IDD asks, will we have a side plot love story in Squadron 42 that can compete with genre legends like Michael Bay?
What, Michael Bay? What, like just blowing stuff up? Yeah, why not?
but he's saying a side plot love story.
I think so.
Kind of like what Michael Bay does with
It's going to be like Wing Commander, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's going to be like the Wing Commander, the story.
Yeah.
So one of the, I think.
I'm sure there'll be a certain amount of cheese.
There better be a porn star grease monkey in this game. That's all I gotta say.
I think that loads of the stuff from Wing Commander we're going to see here. So if you eject from your ship, you'll get a purple heart. You'll probably wake up in the hospital. Spoilers. But you'll also, yeah, you'll have a love story. You'll have a crazy guy like Maniac. It will be very much nodding to Wing Commander. I'm almost sure of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So there you go. Asked and answered. Greg Goomba asks, speaking of escape pods, what features, game mechanics would you like to see in the escape pods so they are a viable means of preserving your life and not just a fancy metal box for someone to use for target practice? I don't think they're going to be very easy to target. Yeah, I don't think they're going to be very easy to target. I think that the main feature is that you're still alive and you don't lose one of your lives for using one.
So oxygen. No, I think he means like little things that are in there. Like food and water?
Yeah, so Pong, Space Invaders.
Obviously a communication device to communicate to whoever's picking you up.
I think that we're going to have augmented reality. I think we're going to be able to have websites in-game, is what I'm hoping. So I assume it will have like an advanced Moby glass with a screen.
Yeah.
Basically.
Or some sort of entertainment. Or so, there's got to be something you can do while you're waiting for people to come save you. Or you also have to remember it may just be like there may be a set time that if your org or a friend can't come save you, that an NPC rescue crew will stumble upon you. And I think that might be,
that would be something
they'll find a way to make it so you're not sitting there forever being bored.
So, I think the idea was with the escape pods is that you eject, and as soon as the area hasn't got enemies near you, you can respawn.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense too.
And that will be like a cutscene of somebody rescuing
of you drifting off into shape.
Quite possibly.
Yeah. Okay, that seems cool.
I think that's what they said, or what they wanted to do anyway.
John Frag asks, what do you think this game's goal will be? I mean, robbing, killing, making money, getting ships is all exciting and stuff, but what will the end game goal? Well, this is okay. So let me explain what the difference, what this game is, compared to maybe something to what you're thinking. Most games that have an end game goal are more of like a theme park style MMO or theme park style game. So think World of Warcraft as a straightforward example. Then you can also think, okay, as a sandbox type game or a sandbox MMO, there's really no end game. The end game is sort of what you create for yourself. So it could be robbing or killing people, or it could be taking a space station, or it could be getting that one ship that you want, or it could be holding down a certain area of space or whatever. And that's the sort of the beauty about the sandbox style game. And a good example for a sandbox game would be, say, DayZ, right? Where there's no real end game thing, is just sort of you can do whatever it is that you want, whether that's you want to build a vehicle, or you want to set a base up, or you want to just go hunt people, or you want to just try and survive with the bare minimum. The end game is whatever you want it to be. And I think a lot of people,
it's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's basically it's emergent gameplay and gameplay in general is end game.
Right. Now, I'm sure there will be events and things like that
game,
that you can say that's part of your end game. So there could be the Vanduul attacks and having to fight them off and stuff like that. And your end game could be, let's try and get this org or this squadron to go and kick their ass every time or whatever. But everybody's end game, is going to be completely different. My end game is going to be a lot different than Twerk's. Twerk's might be to mine this super rare sodium thing.
Actually, I think ours are similar, but
yeah. So that's what his might be. Where mine might be getting space station and holding that down, or just collecting a shit ton of money. So that's whatever. Some people, it might be exploring stuff. Their end game might be finding things for themselves and finding new jump points and going to all the different systems. Or some people will be collecting pets or fish, or some people will be collecting ships, or collecting different armors or different clothes. Or there's all kinds of stuff that you could consider your end game. And if you hit that end game, then your goals can shift. Right, so say for example, we have a space station and it's locked down, and it's easy to lock down because we have a big organization. That's not the end of the game for me. I could then switch it to, okay, well, let's make my goal now. I want all the pets in the game, so let's go and get that. Or I want all of these ships, or I want this specific ship. you know, it may be that somebody wants Vandal ships, or they want a Bengal, or whatever, right? So it depends on who you ask what those end goals are going to be.
Yeah, there could be really exotic fish. People were saying in the chat, really? Yeah, there could be some really exotic
Absolutely,
fish.
yeah. I want personally to own a factory node. That's always been my end game. That's what got me into buying the game.
I think that's interesting, but that's not my goal. Is the space station at first, right?
Yeah, they're similar. It's similar but different, right?
Yeah.
Whatever gives me the biggest balance. I literally want to look at my UEC and know that I'm fucking rich.
Yeah. Bala.
So I want those numbers, man. That's why I'm there for Star Citizen.
Yeah.
It's true, though. Depressing, but true.
Yeah.
But yeah, Miserable G asks, do we know how alt accounts work in the case of with other factions? If you were to be a pirate and get bad with rep on your main, would your alt account's crew be treated the same, or would there be a way to get away from bad rep? I think that this is going to be something depending on what you do with that character. If you get that character to work with your main character and they're building that
same
rep,
reputation,
then they're going to get a similar, if not the same reputation. But I think that, yeah, if you wanted to have different characters and different things, I don't see how they would be tied together. I don't see why they would do that.
You could just make a new account. You could literally just go, I'll have another account entirely rather than just another character slot.
Right, and I think that's what they're trying to prevent. I think they'd rather you just have other character slots than other accounts. So yeah, I don't know if you guys have anything to add to that.
No, I mean, I think a lot of people want to do different things. Like some people are going to want to pirate on one character and not on another, and I do hope that reputation won't carry over as long as you don't do things with that person.
Another good example of alt accounts or alts is, look at I'm going to use the popular example of World of Warcraft again, where you can have multiple characters on your account and you can have multiple accounts, and the rep from one character doesn't affect the other character. It doesn't.
Totally
you can do
people.
They can be other factions, even they can do other things entirely, and I think that's what this is going to be. Now if you force those characters as NPCs to work for you, then that may affect, I imagine that would affect it for sure. But
and I think the community wouldn't be all that happy either about it.
About what?
Like,
are you playing Hearthstone? You're playing Hearthstone.
No, I'm saying if they forced you to... I mean, were you saying that if they force you to only be like your wingman or your gunner on your constellation? Like that's what I got from what you were saying.
I said if you use them as that, then they will get that.
Okay. I thought you said if they, like, I don't know. That's how I understood it, was like if you only could use them as that. But okay, yeah, that's okay.
Yeah,
take it back.
That's why I asked if you were playing Hearthstone.
No.
Grizz
I just misunderstood you.
Yeah, Grizz Warmace asked, "Do you think the Crucible will be able to manufacture parts like I think I read the Endeavor could?" What?
The Endeavor manufacturing parts? The Endeavor can.
It does research.
Overclock parts.
Yeah, it doesn't manufacture parts. It overclocks stuff, and it
manufactures parts other than space station or factory nodes that we know of at the moment. So, no, I would say, but it could definitely salvage parts. That Board Gamer mentioned that earlier, right?
Mm-hmm.
But not actually create anything, I wouldn't think. Not as a repair ship.
So we do know that the Crucible is going to be able to create lattices in space to repair larger ships.
I know what it is. Battlefront. I know it.
How do you know?
I can see it in your glasses. Yeah. He's playing Battlefront, and he's not paying attention, and I'm going to call him out right now.
I'm busted.
Yeah.
I couldn't help it.
Sweet Jesus, we're almost done.
Off.
We're almost done. And this guy's playing Battlefront. And you know what's worse? Is he's talking to Proxys and playing with Proxys too, aren't you?
No.
You're not? Okay.
No, I'm not.
He's
I
lying.
swear to God, I'm not.
Yeah, whatever.
Sweet Jesus.
I'll tab. I couldn't help it. I'm addicted, guys. I have a problem.
Okay. Deltron3030 asks, Listen, that fucking guy. If a new Corvette is released tomorrow, will you get one? What if it's Drake Corvette? I already said
What
this.
if it's
Yes.
1500?
What? Why would it be 1,500? That's more expensive than an Idris.
Yeah. That doesn't make any sense. It's a Corvette.
That's
it's
how
smaller.
much the Idris was.
No, it wasn't. It was 1,000.
It's 1,000.
Yeah.
Okay, what if it's
And
1,000?
now it's 1,250. If it's
What if it's
1,000,
1,200?
I will melt everything and I will get it.
No, so the most I would spend on it, possibly, would be 750, 800. I'd push to 800 if it was a hell of a ship.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe not 1,000. If it was 800, I think is like gonna be my max too, because I still need a game package to play with. I can rent every ship; it doesn't care,
do we think
and I'll
it would be a
unmelt
game
stuff later
package?
on. No, it wouldn't be a game package.
Were the
It would be
Idrises
standalone.
and those weren't game packages, were
never.
they?
Nope.
Never.
Nope.
Just standalone.
Okay.
So if I would need to keep a game package, which would be my Omega, and I would melt everything else. If I can melt everything else and still get it, then yes. If I can't, then I will not.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it
I don't
depends
think I
on.
could do that.
Well, the thing is, we'll be able to unmelt everything later on, so I'll just
that's
unmelt
true.
it as we go.
And your like goals for ships are like a little different than mine. Like I want to have the ability to play every single style of play in like an instant right off the bat, if I want to. Like if I'm mining and one day I'm like, man, I don't feel like mining anymore. I want to do salvage. I can just go and do it, right? So I want to have lots of like smaller ships that do different things. Has like always been my style
Yeah,
of like ship buying, which is why I'm like having a hard time not buying the Crucible, because it's just another style of play, right?
yeah.
That I really want to play.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. Only if it's Drake Corvette though, unless it's something. Unless it's something amazing from somebody else, right? It would. I don't even like. I'm not even interested in an Idris myself.
No, me neither.
So
because so many people have them, like who cares? Like you can just fly with one of your friends.
yeah.
But what would you say is something? Okay, like you said, only if it's something amazing. What is something amazing that would do it for you?
If it's something that is very obviously geared towards piracy that I can use, and it looks cool. It has to look cool.
Yeah.
Right? So if, for example, Asperia made something, or if Asperia made like a Van Duel Corvette that we could buy or something, then I would be like, maybe. You know, it would depend. We'll have to see. Duke Slayer asks a hardware question. Hardware-wise, I need to upgrade my PC. Is it really necessary to go up to a motherboard with 64 gigs of RAM and DDR4 capability? No. Or should I stop around 32 gigs RAM, which I think, yes, and still use DDR3 for the next few years? All my doubt is related to be able to play this game in acceptable performance next year's. RAM will be fine.
You don't need 32 gigs of RAM to start with.
16 is fine. 16 I think is a nice area to be around. The only reason I have 32 gigs on my gaming PC is for doing video content and rendering and things like that. You don't.
That's the only thing it really helps with at that kind of level.
You're not going to be using like your RAM for games isn't really that high. The RAM that you're looking at that is going to affect the game is the RAM on your video cards. And especially with DX12 coming out really soon, I would still hold off on that to sort of see what the performance gains and everything like that are before you start dumping money into that.
Yeah, I would put, if I was going to say, if I set a budget up with a 32 gigs of RAM build, I would take the money from the extra 32 gigs and put it into a better processor.
I don't know. I think I'd get 16 gigs of better RAM.
Yeah, I'd get 16 gigs of better, faster RAM, and I would, as a non-content creator, as a gaming machine, for sure.
Nope.
You're talking about getting a better processor, aren't you, Twerk?
Getting more cores, more threads, processors. There's going to be 8-core 16-thread processors coming out that are not Extreme Edition processors very soon.
At the moment, the best kind of processor for price point is the 4790 kind of area, which is really nice.
But that's right now. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
I'm talking about
it's it's definitely worth waiting for the new processors.
Yeah, he's
before
asking hardware
considering-
questions. I would say wait, save that money, put it into a processor with more cores, more threads, because they've mentioned from Foudy 42 that they're actively working on using more cores, more threads. This is one of the few games that are actually doing that. So save the money.
Well, and that's the other thing that goes back to the whole DX12 thing as well, which does use more cores and more threads and stuff.
And that would be DDR4
in talking
RAM.
to your graphics card and stuff. What I would suggest, if you are looking to buy a computer for Star Citizen, no matter what, just hold off. Just hold off until it gets closer to the release, because even if all the parts right now are compatible and are going to run it perfectly fine and everything, which I'm sure they're going to, they're going to be a lot cheaper and you're going to save money, and it's not really going to affect a whole lot. Shit's going to be buggy, you're going to drop frames, and you're going to do all this stuff, even with the best gear out there.
Yeah, and in the end, we're just kind of talking out of our ass because we don't know where the game's going to be in a year from now in terms of performance-wise on our PCs. We might have to upgrade ours. Who knows?
But yeah,
Well, I'll definitely be upgrading
better
mine.
stuff, better, cheaper stuff next year. So you'll save money basically.
But that's the case every year. There's always going to be better, cheaper stuff.
Of course.
In the next year. So
yeah, like my
DDR4 is still
700 and now it's 300.
Yeah, DDR4 is still very new. In terms of RAM, I don't think, unless you're getting a newer chipset, which may or may not be worth it for you. I don't see it. I sort of disagree. I would rather put my money towards a better graphics card and run something at 4790K will be fine. But yeah, do some looking around, ask questions all over. And people are saying DDR4 is over a year old. That's still new. So,
it's still more expensive than it.
It's still more expensive than DDR3.
It's still not mainstream. There's only one motherboard type that uses it right now. I think that's just like the Extreme Edition Intel cards. I don't even think there's AMD cards that run DDR4 memory yet. I don't think. I'm also not very versed in this stuff, so I'll probably get shit on. But
my suggestion would be, feel free to ask here. Do me a favor, throw a thread up in the hardware thread, and you'll get a lot more opinions from people who know a lot more than we do.
Yeah. I don't think we know a lot. But
make a thread in the hardware forums on the redacted.tv forums, and somebody will help you out there.
In the end, it comes down to if you see 2.0 gameplay and you have to play it, then upgrade
and you
your PC
can't now.
Yeah, and you can't now, then upgrade your PC now. If you see 2.0 gameplay and you say, I can hold off, then you wait.
Yeah.
I think that's probably what makes the most sense.
Kralix asks, do you think the Xi'an Xian Scout Cartoal is worth the $150 price tag? I'm considering getting one in the anniversary sale, but I don't know much about it.
Trolls.
I think it's a neat looking chip. I don't think it's worth $150 for what it does, but that's me.
It's a 2-crew ship with a load of guns. They haven't decided how many guns it's got yet. We need to wait until we know how many guns it's got.
What ship is this? Because I was talking in the chat.
The Xi'an Cartoal.
The Jion Scout.
Yeah, I don't know yet.
Xi'an.
I only bought it because I wanted to see alien technology, and I didn't know about the Rex system yet.
Yeah.
Right?
My suggestion would be, I don't think it's going to be a limited ship, from what we understand, right? Like it's something that the Banu are selling to humans. So if you're not sure, hold off, wait until it's flyable, rent it in the game, and then see if you like it. Remember that you can earn these ships in game as well. I want to make that. Even though I want them to make $100 million, remember that all of the ships that you can purchase will be earnable in game. We don't have a guest, so okay. Interesting. Giran asks, after 2.0, what big actualization plus ships do you think we will have next? Mining plus Orion, fuel transport plus Starfarer, salvage plus Reclaimer, or transport plus Freelancer? Probably the transport. The Freelancer, I think, is going to be the next big one that they're going to get in there.
I think it might be quite easy to do salvage. I know they're working on the voxel asteroids and a lot of that.
Yeah.
I don't think the Orion.
Aaron implied to me when I was drinking with him at the bar The voxel asteroids are almost done.
Well, I think the next one though will be transport. I think we'll probably see that in 2.0 right away with small like little transport missions. You don't think that transport will be the next one in with like the freelancer and with the constellation and stuff? Of course, yeah. It's to me it's the easiest one to implement. Landing zone, they fill it up with cargo, you bring it somewhere else, you drop it off. You don't
What, you
think
mean
so?
like trading?
Yeah, no, transport. Like space
Transport of
trucking.
people?
Space trucking.
Yeah, space truck. So trading. It costs something here and it costs more over there.
Yeah, I think that's going to be in right away. So I think
When you said transport, I thought you were talking about like player transport, and I was like, no way.
well, even that, yeah.
I think
That-
bounty
how-
hunting.
But transport you'll be able to do right away. We have multi-crew ships. Of course you'll
We
be
have
able to do
AI.
that. Yeah.
So bounty hunting can be.
Oh yeah,
thing.
I also think bounty hunting will be in right away as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
I
not
definitely
against
see
other
transporting
players.
goods,
But
not transporting people. Though.
I think right off the bat we're going to see transporting. You're going to be able to transport people. Why wouldn't you be able to? You can hold other people in your multi-crew ships. That's going to be a thing. And
because it's like 4 people. Like the transport stuff will be like multiple people with profit, all that stuff. I just don't see that being a thing.
no,
'Cause there's
you're
planet
seeing transporting people as a job. I'm saying transporting people as a mechanic. I think he's talking about mechanics in the game, not
mechanics are
actual jobs.
I'm confused.
Well, they're both mechanics.
Right.
The stuff we get in 2.0 and 2.1 and 2.2
Yeah.
might not necessarily be a full job, but we'll get to try
We'll
them
be
out.
able to do it.
So asteroid
enough.
It's like
mining
saying,
might
is
be
FP
the mining of an asteroid, but no selling it.
Yeah, it's like saying is FPS in there.
Yeah.
Well, the functionality to do FPS is in there.
Yeah.
But there may not be missions to do FPS, or there may not be like specific loadouts, but it's still there. Just like free, like transport, whether it's cargo or people, I think is going to be in there right away. Fuel is, I know we're going to have refueling in there from the space stations. I think that might be the next close one. Mining, I know they're working on. But yeah.
Yeah, they're actively working on mining now, so it kind of feels like that might come first, but that doesn't mean the Orion's going to come with it, because they have not said one word about the Orion being worked on, so I don't think it is.
And yeah. Then
So if they were to do mining, it would be something weird and unique with some other ship.
yeah, I think there are some things in there that won't be in there for a while, like mining being one of them. Doing things like setting up your own factories and stuff. That's not going to be in there right away.
No.
There's the salvage. I don't think is in there right away. It could be. I could be wrong, but I don't know. Well, I mean, it's just all speculation from us, Kieran. I wish we could answer better, but yeah. And the last question here from Shake and Bake 87, and I have no answer to this, but what rating do you expect Star Citizen will be given? What rating would you personally want? A plus. I don't follow I don't follow ratings. 4
I'll
out of
give
2.
it a 6 out of 9.
I give it a 4 out of 2.
I mean, they obviously want it to appeal to as many people as possible, but they don't want it to be too. They want some of the themes to be mature.
but that doesn't.
so-
Have, are you? Okay, I was thinking he wanted like a
thought you were
Metacritic
trolling.
rating. No, I thought he was asking if he wanted a Metacritic. Like he was asking what kind of rating, because that's what my roommate talks about is what Metacritics are and how it means everything to the end of the world. I'm like, well, no, niche games and cult classics and stuff. Ratings don't mean
He
shit.
was asking maturity ratings.
The maturity
but-
ratings, yeah. We're gonna see a teen rating, I think.
Well, I think that's what they're aiming for.
But
Yeah.
if I think that if maybe if they get
That's
an
why like Chris doesn't want them cursing and community stuff.
No.
and-
So I think
But they
just
do.
because there's the
They do now,
killing
yeah.
of humans by other humans, because that's literally what it is. It's the malicious killing of humans by other humans. That's what some gameplay will be. I think it might get pushed up higher.
I think, you know what? I think it, now that I think about it, I expect it to get a mature title. And I personally want it to be a mature title. I'm also concerned for our Australian friends because of their
Oh,
crazy ass
fine.
laws. Yeah, that they're because we know that there's going to be drugs and stuff in the game, and that if it's not prescribed by a doctor in the game, then it's your video game laws are backwards. But yeah, that's what I expect it to be.
Yeah, I expect it to be mature. I think they are aiming for a more inclusive rating, but we'll have to see.
They're not going to go out of their way and make things GTA style to make it mature.
Yeah.
They're not going to go out of their way to create super controversial stuff. There'll be swearing in the game for sure. There'll be gore at an acceptable level. They're not going to do like crazy, like soft style.
Do you think
gore,
there'll be gore?
There will be gore. You're going to shoot off
damage.
people's arms.
Yeah, but I'm not sure if that can be gory. I mean, they would have the spludging of blood. I don't think there's actually going to be that much like gore or visceral.
There's not going to be like
pumping of
guts,
blood.
but there might be on some of the derelict ships.
Oh, maybe.
Right?
Yeah.
So I mean, it's kind of hard to know with the stuff that we have now because it's so.
You just kind of go limp.
It's just your things. You just sort of go limp, and your spaceship just flies around. That's all that's really in there. The craziest thing they do right now is, I think one of the emotes says that's bullshit, and that's it. So
It's true, because that's kind of become a thing.
yeah. So I mean, I don't know. We'll see. I guess we'll see what they do and how they do it. I guess. But that is it for the end of our questions for Redacted. So that brings us to the end of this episode. I'd like to thank everybody who came by. And remember, tomorrow at 10 a.m. PST. What time is that for you? GMT?
7 o'clock, maybe?
Yeah.
6 o'clock, something like that. I'll be there. Just go at Source's
GMT,
time. It's the same.
No, it's not it's not the same. It's earlier.
It's not the same?
No, it's like 4 hours earlier.
No, but no.
It's 3
what I mean
hours
is
earlier.
If they're going by your time,
It's
then-
10 a.m. PST is the time that I
that's
saw.
fine.
Yeah,
Just go by that time. That's fine.
it's fine. Just go by PST, I guess.
It's 6 p.m. GMT.
Okay, there we go. Thank you. So we're going to be doing a huge thing here. We have a Caterpillar we're giving away. We have a Merlin we're going to be giving away. If you want to get it, or it could possibly be an Archimedes. If you want to get in on the Merlin or Archimedes giveaway, type !Merlin in chat and make sure you get that link. If this video is up on YouTube by the time before this episode is over, I'm sure Board Gamer will have a link in the description below where you can do that. If not, please be aware that we will be doing giveaways regularly on the forums, and to go and check them out anyways.
Sorry, you want me to get this episode that we're recording now up before it's finished?
Up before tomorrow, possibly.
Oh, okay, that makes more sense. I was like, that's asking a lot.
Yes,
Joris.
actually. That's what we want.
I want it done
Finish
now.
it before it's finished.
I'll have it up in the next few hours. This
Yeah.
episode. I'm going to
Yeah,
try
yeah.
and do them quicker than I normally do.
So, yeah. Thanks to everybody who came by.
Thank you, guys.
Twerk17, where can we find you?
You can find me at Twerk17 Gaming on Twitter and YouTube, and I've said this for like 5 weeks in a row now, but life has been kind of ruining my YouTube experience and making videos, so not much going on there right now, and you can find me at Twerk17 on Twitch. And we'll likely be doing some... As soon as the anniversary sale comes out, I get to finally know what we're going to give away over the next couple weeks, couple months. Exciting stuff.
You have
like
anything
that, so.
exciting coming up?
Honestly, no. I'm really waiting to see. I will find out what's exciting for the once the live stream comes out, but I do have a Saber giveaway for whenever 2.0 drops.
Okay.
If 2.0 drops like midday, the day after I stream, the next day I will give away a Saber.
Okay.
That is one of the things.
We are going to try and figure out a way to do a multi-stream of Battlefront at some point.
Woo!
Right.
actually
We're going
gonna
to
be
try
quite
and
fun,
get
actually.
everybody, all the content,
show you
as many
fools how
content
it's done.
creators. Yeah, Twerk is clearly addicted because he's been playing this whole podcast.
No, I have not been playing the podcast.
Most of it.
Just when you caught me, I was in my first game within like a minute.
yeah.
So yeah, I did not play the whole podcast.
And Board Gamer, where can people find you?
They can find me on the YouTubes at pretty much at Board Gamer pretty much everywhere. So YouTube, Board Gamer UK. Or just go to redacted.tv. You'll find me there. You'll be able to find my stuff. It will be the best stuff that you see ever. Your eyes will literally fall out of your skulls and disintegrate after you watch my stuff.
Yeah, you can find all of our stuff there. We are all part of Redacted. And there's still a lot more stuff coming with that. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can find me on twitch.tv/WTFosaurus. I'm on Twitter. I like having cool conversations and stuff like that on there as well. So feel free to hit me up.